Good, beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zones you have right now. Today is January 8th, and we are at Season 3, Episode 1 of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our very first episode for this year, and we are happy to have Mr. June Mendoza, who will be discussing about New Year, new life, and HR perspective. So, before we start, I would like to welcome all of you guys to the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhat Iba Pa. We are an online talk show program aired via live stream every Sunday at 3 p.m. And my name is Coach Darwin Rivers. I'm the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, public speaker, and motivational speaker and HR consultant. I'm also the VP for HR of one of the BPO companies here in the Philippines. And of course, joining with me at this episode 1, brand new year, would be mentors Rona Del Ferentino. Mentor Shona, please say hi to our audience.
Yes, hi everyone. Good afternoon at Happy New Year. Nako, isa na naman pong taon ang kakaharapin natin at excited na ako na inaalamin kung ano ba ang meron for 2023 after ng isang napaka-exciting na 2022. Coach Darwin?
Thank you, Mentor Rona. Ladies and gentlemen, Mentor Rona has more than 20 years of HR practitioner experience in both local and international companies. She's the president and CEO of Uprush Social Geekers, a public speaker and HR consultant, and one of the top 100 women in LinkedIn last year. So we also have Mentor Tina Coang. Please say hi, Mentor Tina.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. We apologize for the delay that happened a while ago. Bagong taon, bagong problema pero naayos naman. And we welcome you to the HR Cafe. We hope that you can tell us your presence by actually tagging your name, leaving a comment, inform us where you are in the Philippines or around the world so at least we can give you a shout out to the show.
Thank you, Mentor Tina. Mentor Tina is an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experience. She's a general manager for a retail company and best known for online content and blog tinainmanila.com. She's also one of the top 100 women in LinkedIn. Now, let us start the show. Nako, this is an entirely new year. So we welcome you to the HR Cafe. For those of you guys who just tuned in or who just discovered the HR Cafe, we've been doing this since 2020. And here at the HR Cafe, we provide timely news and updates. We also impart knowledge and experience that are value-adding and beneficial to our audience. We discuss problems, issues, and challenges and provide answers and resolutions through our guest resource. If there are any new technology, tools, and processes, as well as industry's best practice, we discuss it here in our show. And if your company has a job opening, I'm sure marami sa inyo na merong new work opportunities. We encourage you to please post it at the comment section because the HR Cafe is also a virtual job board, and we will also announce any job-related openings from your company. The HR Cafe aim is to bridge understanding between employers and employees, and of course, to inspire and motivate all working Filipinos. Now, we've been doing this for almost 3 years. We're the longest running online HR virtual program, and we start our program with our wow quote for the week. For day 1 or episode 1 of season 3 for 2023, our wow quote for the week comes from Sarah Haynes. She is an international journalist. According to Sarah Haynes, if you don't find your passion in your paycheck, go find it somewhere else. Let me repeat this. If you don't find passion in your paycheck, go find it somewhere else. How does this particular quote resonates to you? What does it mean? We would like to encourage everyone to please share it to us at the comment section, and we'll be happy to share it to our community. But of course, let's start with the opinions and thoughts of our mentors. Let's start with Mentor Rona. Mentor Rona, this wow quote for the from Sarah Haynes. What's your opinion and thoughts about it?
Actually, hindi ako agree kay Sarah Haynes. Hindi ako 100% agree sa kanya. I think it's more of a balance between your passion and your paycheck. Kasi if panay passion naman tayo, oftentimes the passion may not be something na financially stable for us. Like for example, passion ko ang pagkain, passion ko ang pagluluto, passion ko ang pagsusulat. Not all of those things will bring in the money, 'di ba? Pero if I keep following naman things that would bring me money, that would also mean that my performance may be lackluster, hindi siya ganun kaganda, I might be jumping from one ship to another, I might not be building a solid career path for myself just because I keep jumping ship and going after a company who would be able to provide me a higher salary. So I think it's a balance of passion and paycheck when it comes to making sure that you build a good career path for yourself. One thing that I subscribe to, yung thought that I subscribe to is that when you are happy with what you are doing, okay, and sometimes the things that give you happiness are also the things that give you grief, but as long as it's something that you are really into, okay, at some point it will bring in the paycheck. Hindi palaging sabay si passion at si paycheck. Sometimes nauuna si passion and then the paycheck comes, because when you're
Lalo na
passionate about
when
something.
we're starting our career, di ba, Mentor Rona, Mentor Tina, nauna muna si passion bago yung paycheck.
Walang
Yes,
paycheck,
nung
eh,
una
mababa, eh, below minimum.
Walang
mababa.
paycheck.
Below minimum.
Diba? One of the realizations that I had when I started working as an HR, super, dahil nga sa wala ka pang experience, fresh graduate ka. So, naka-minimum rate lang ako. Diyos ko, yung minimum rate noon ay 4 figures pa lang. Imaginein mo yon, 'di ba? Kung paano yun bubuhay ng tao. Lalo na sa hindi yung namang sweldo natin hindi naman siya tumataas ng kasabay ng pagtaas ng ng gastusin, 'di ba?
Inflation rate.
'Di ba? Pero kumbaga, nag-start ka because you have a passion. You want to learn, you can be passionate about learning, you want to learn about HR. I actually started my career in HR because I wanted to help people find jobs, which at that point makes sense, pero pag alam mo yung pag matagal ka na sa HR, bigla mo marirealize na hindi pala dapat ganun palagi. So may mga ganun akong realizations. You started with passion, but the paycheck was not there. The paycheck started becoming significant nung na-start mo nang mabuild yung career path mo. Nung natututo ka na on how to handle HR matters, you are able to, you develop the ability to learn, to listen to people who are better than you. When you started doing that, that's when the paycheck starts coming in. People who start with high paychecks agad, and they don't have the passion, and they just keep following the paycheck, they don't build anything. They keep jumping from one ship to another, from one career path to another. So I don't necessarily 100% agree with Sarah Haynes, pero meron din naman siyang, kumbaga may point din naman siya, but we have to keep in mind that it's a balance. Hindi ito panay passion lang, hindi rin naman panay paycheck. If you started doing something na panay 100%, di ba sabi nga natin, too much of anything is bad for you. So if it's too much passion, don't expect na malaki kagad ang paycheck. If it's paycheck kagad ang simula mo, don't expect na makakapag-build ka kagad ng magandang career path. For me, that's how I interpret our wow quote for the week. What about you, Mentor Tina?
Sa akin, I find it very funny if people choose to spend their time, efforts, and energy on something they don't really enjoy. Kasi it's not a mindset thing, ha. It is a state of being. Why would you even waste your time if you don't like in a job, if you don't like your boss, you don't like your company, you don't think you're gonna stay there in the future, you're not learning anything, ibig sabihin pumapasok ka araw-araw para magreklamo. 'Di ba pag nakita mo yung mga colleagues mo, nang aasar ka, gusto mong sapakin yung kasama mo. Like for me, I really make a conscious effort that the people I work with, I actually like. 'Di ba? The work that I do, even though I will not enjoy it all the time, it's still something that I'm willing to do. Hindi yung napipilitan lang dahil wala kang pera, wala ka ng choice. Kasi sa totoo lang, malaki na tayo, 'di ba? We're all adults. Everyone has a choice. Pinili natin 'yan. So I'm in the mindset talaga that with everything we do, the choice of our friends, the choice of our work, the choice of the jobs that we do, it's something we actively choose. And if you don't choose, sabi mo, hindi, napasukan ko lang yan kasi napilitan ako. We're just fooling ourselves. Because not choosing is also a choice. Right? Pwede naman, if you really hate your job that much, pwede namang mag-resign ng maayos. Pwede namang hindi dyan magtrabaho. Then sasabihin mo, pero pag kunyari hindi ako nagtrabaho dyan, paano naman ang pamilya ko? Well, then maghanap ka ng ibang trabaho. 'Di ba? Then sabihin mo na, well, wala akong mahanap na ibang trabaho eh. Then I will say, well, I know 10 people na nakahanap naman ng ibang trabaho. So what makes you so special? Sometimes we excuse our inaction or we excuse the environment that we suffer in and we don't do anything about it because it is way easier to complain than to change your life. 'Di ba? Kasi if you change your life, you have to take action, you have to be brave and courageous, you have to choose to do something else. Eh minsan, mas madali pa magstay sa isang bad relationship than to break up and actually find somebody else of which you might find happiness, much greater happiness than where you are now. So, I'm in the camp kasi na I'm happy to listen to people's complaints. I can listen to it for like 3 months, 6 months. Pero pag 2 years, kasama mo pa rin siya, eh di ba toxic, nag-cheat siya sa'yo, he or she doesn't give you what you want. The question now is, kasalanan pa ba ng boss mo, katrabaho mo, asawa mo, boyfriend mo, girlfriend mo? Kasalanan pa ba nila? Kasi parang naging kasalanan mo na you choose to stay in that type of environment. Now, a lot of people are saying na, eh kasi ito lang yung offer na nakuha ko. Again, what about the things that you can do today? You can take more classes. You can be an active smart commentor at the Philippine HR group. Every day, ang dami nating ina-approve na post na looking for HR manager. Ito yung salary rate. I've received offers that are more than 100,000 pesos. There are jobs out there. The question is, what do you do to make yourself eligible for those jobs that pay you higher than what you get right now? Are you actively improving yourself and your life and your mindset? Or are you complaining? Ah, diba? So 2023, my friends, is a year of not complaining. I'm not saying that life is perfect. I'm not saying walang problema. But what I'm saying is, I think it's time na to change, for us to change our mindset, na instead of complaining about where we are right now, that we actually take steps to correct the environment we have para pag 2024, hindi na naman tayo nasa bad relationship, 'di ba? That does not pay us very well. Lagi-lagi kasi kasalanan ng ibang tao eh. And with that, I'd like to greet a lot of people who have been part of the HR Cafe, mga early birds, Bri Gonzalez, Tag Edna, Rogan, Joanna, Marie Garde, Gregorio, Christy Rivera, Ernesto Espinosa says, hi, sir. Bri Gonzalez, Happy New Year, coaches. EJ Araneta tagged a lot of his friends. Thank you so much. Lean Subiaga, HRI Lean here, Maria Carmela Landico Castino. Happy New Year, and I Lopez Serena. Happy New Year from I Serena's HR and Admin of Industry Movers Corp, which is a shipping company. Yan ang pinakamagandang tag. Kasama pa ang company name. Sige, Coach Darwin.
Well, before I start, I like the quotation that you said earlier. Not choosing is actually making a choice, right? That's actually so true. Pero I do agree with your opinion, Mentor Shona and Mentor Stina, but I would like to see it in another perspective. In a perfect world, whenever you're doing your passion, it pays. But in a perfect world kasi, hindi kasi madalas ganon. And
Correct.
And sometimes, we have certain passions that hindi naman align sa work natin. For example, some people would like to travel, pero yung work nila hindi naman related sa travel. Or some people would like to cook. They're passionate in cooking, they're passionate in drawing, they're passionate in speaking up in sales. But the line of work that they're in right now is not related to that. But they're actually good. It doesn't mean that you're not good at your work. You're good at your work. It's just that your passion is not really there. So what happens? Normally, we use our weekends or our free time to express our passion. And that's the reason why a lot of people have side hustles. A lot of people are going to church to serve, going to different NGOs actually to serve also. So it really is up to you. For me, yung paycheck, it means a lot of things. It means creating value not only to the people around you, but also value for yourself. So if you feel that you're in your kind of work, that you're doing okay, you're doing well, and you're not yet at that position where you would like to pursue what you're really passionate of, then try to use your free time to check what is really my passion. For I've known a lot of people who during the pandemic they were working in the BPO industry, they're working in different industries. They tap on their passion in cooking, in baking. Lo and behold, it turns out that they're now making more money doing their passion in baking, doing their passion in cooking, doing their passions in sales and whatnot, than what they have been doing at their regular work. You can actually just explore opportunities, but it's really up to you. It's your choice. Sabi nga, not choosing is already a choice. So in 2023, always remember you have a choice. So let's move on. Oh, before we move on, meron bang mga nag-share, Mentors Tina, Mentor Shona, about this particular wow quote for the week sa ating audience?
Actually, meron tayo dito. Hindi ko lang makita yung name. So, Mentor Tina, patulong na lang. Passion is
Sir
never measured by
Ernesto
money.
Espinosa.
Ayun, si Ka Ernie pala ito. Passion is never measured by money. Never. Ayan, sabi niya. Okay. Ito ba, na-curious ako bigla, ang ating bang wow quote for the week ay may kinalaman sa isang personality na nag-post tungkol sa pagiging sad sa pagbalik sa work?
Hindi naman.
Potentially.
Kasi, di ba, segue lang tayo doon kasi a lot of people, she's getting a lot of flack for her opinion. And sa Pilipinas naman, meron naman tayong freedom of speech. She is free to say whatever she likes. But of course, with this freedom comes consequences, which is the backlash that she's getting right now. And oftentimes Filipinos can be quite a bully when it comes to things that they don't agree with, which if you would look at it from a different perspective, is also their right to express whatever it is that they don't like. But I think I think she's getting a lot of flack for this because people misunderstood, and she also was a bit out of touch with the reality. I mean, in our case, tayong tatlo, we have the privilege of saying we have choices. Diba? And a lot of people, we can always say that people would always have choices. But if, for example, you are to choose between your passion and feeding your family, passion goes out the window. You go for your family. Diba? So, alam mo yun, we are privileged enough to have to really, and I think the person who mentioned being sad going back to work also had that privilege. And she is speaking from a place of privilege. And that's where she's getting a lot of flack from. And a lot of things she's also getting a lot of flack from the fact that you don't have to be happy all the time in order to show that you like your job or that you are grateful for your job. Kasi kahit naman ako, I am grateful for my job. I am grateful for my business. I am grateful for the opportunities. But, before January 3 came, Nairita din ako, parang, Diyos ko, hindi ko na na-experience, hindi ko na masyadong nalasap yung Pasko, diwa ng Pasko, hindi ko masyadong na-enjoy. Baka po pwede na ma-extend pa, wala bang announcement dyan, na baka po pwedeng January 9 na lang ang start ng lahat ng trabaho. Di ba? Lahat tayo may ganun. Doesn't mean that I don't like uprush, I don't like being with my people. Doesn't mean that I don't like being an HR. It just means that sayang kasi I want more time with my family. I want more time with my friends. I want more of this festive season where I don't have to worry about things. I think that's the reason why she's getting a lot of flack for that.
They branded it as toxic positivity, right, Better Rona?
Yes, correct. That is correct. Natawa lang
Better
ako
Tina,
kasi,
may
diba,
ano ka dyan,
oo.
may opinion ka dyan sa vlog mo. Share it to us.
No, ano lang ako, parang natatawa lang ako kasi who is this Miss Dia? 'Di ba? Who is this influencer na nobody really knows about tapos na-headline siya? 'Di ba?
Which is good
Just
for her.
imagine, kunyari
Oo.
tayo, nag-comment lang tayo sa wall natin, 'di ba? Tapos all of a sudden, mapunta tayo sa Philippine Star, tapos ang dami nating basher, like, what? Sino ka? Sino ka? Tsaka bakit naging national news to? And sabi ko, hashtag only in the Philippines that some random pretty girl says something who's not even a life coach, who doesn't even work formally, and then nagiging news. And this is her
Correct.
third time. I don't know if she's brilliant as an influencer on making people hate her or she's just not so smart. Alam mo yun? Kasi, again, ang unang tanong na lahat, sino to? Nobody knows who she is. Now, everybody knows who she is. Congratulations to her.
Well, it's a good marketing. It's a good marketing
Diba?
naman.
All marketing is good marketing, even the bad ones. Pero,
Correct.
grabe, sino to and bakit pinag-uusapan sa buong bansa? Nawala tuloy si Onions.
Oo, nawala si
Agree,
Onion.
agree.
Nawala si
Nawala
Onions.
si
Balik
Onions.
natin yung conversation sa Onions. Mas relevant yun.
Agree. Okay, so let's move forward to our next topic, which is, of course, our HR question for the week. And since it's the start of the year, a lot of employees are asking this. Are companies mandated by law to give annual performance review and annual performance increases every year? Kasi alam mo ba, maski sa BPOs, pag nagbasa ka ng mga forums,
Offers.
talagang nag-aano sila, nagko-compare sila. Dito sa amin, you're expected to give X percentage of increase every year. 'Di ba? So, yung mga hindi naman nakakakuha ng increase, parang they're starting to to question. Should companies give increases every year? What's your thoughts about it? Better na mauna ka na. Since
Mauna na ako.
you've also have a company and you're also like Mentor Tina, you're managing your business.
Yes.
Do
So
you
kung
give annual appraisals and increases?
we do conduct semi-annual appraisals, but okay, increase is always management prerogative. Okay? Walang batas sa Pilipinas ang nagko-compel na ikaw ay magbigay, na nagmamandate sa mga companies na magbigay kayo ng increase every year. Wala. It's management prerogative. And I don't think the government will create a law that requires that because, di ba, you're impinging on the companies or these corporations right to manage their own assets or resources or whatever. So walang mandato. Ngayon, if sa kontrata ninyo may nakalagay, you are guaranteed an increase every year, dun ngayon kayo mag-require or mag-compel sa inyong company na nasa ng aking guaranteed increase for this year. Ayan. Pero kung wala po noon, hindi sila po pwedeng i-compel na magbigay ng increase. Is it a good practice? It depends. Pero wala po tayong mandato. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na, yung company ko, isusumbong ko sa DOLE kasi wala kaming increase. No, wala pong ganun. Unless na lang nandun talaga sa kontrata nyo at hindi binigay sa inyo. In our case, in Uprush, we do have a semi-annual increase, but the increases that we have is based on literally based on performance. So if we can see consistency, wala akong problema sa increase. We actually have employees last year na I think 3, 4 times nagkaroon ng increase for the year because the person was really, really very good. Pero we've also had employees na walang increase because we are not seeing any change in their performance. So yun po. What about you, Mentor Tina? What do you think po?
Mentor Tina, in the
I'm
retail, napakarami mong tao. Is this a
Correct.
practice?
I'm very conscious about increases because a prudent manager will always think about, is this increase sustainable?
Sustainable.
For
Correct.
every 1,000 pesos of increase that you give to a person, that is 13,000 pesos per year, right? Kasi 13th month eh. Then you also have to realize na if you increase one, what will be the effect on the
On the
morale
next.
of the other people who were not increased? Syempre, there will be some questions like, bakit siya, hindi ako? So you have to manage that before you provide an increase to one person. Kasi baka sabihin ng tao, favoritism. And sometimes it's this sama ng loob ang nagpaparesign sa isang tao because they don't think that they're valued. So increases is not something that should be automatic. That's decided 10 years ago and then automatic without any conditions you follow this. It must always be done with thought. With thought, 'di ba? Kasi sometimes sorry, yes, not very smart managers assign increases because they are employees. So if people enjoy the increase, they too will enjoy the same percentage of increase without knowing, just using a calculator, they're actually killing the company
The
slowly.
business.
Because the
Correct.
sales are slowly going down. Maybe you're in a sunset industry, but yet the labor cost is going up. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't take a genius to realize that you're killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. So I always suggest to fellow businessmen, instead of looking at annual increases just because your HR asks you to. And in fact, I tell the owners, if yung HR mo lagi kang inukulit sa increase, baka kailangan mo magpalit ng HR. Kasi hindi marunong mag-isip ng malayo eh. This
Walang
person
business
is not gonna
acumen.
stay with you for a long
Correct.
time. 2 years, 3 years, tapos na yan, wala na yan. Okay? So I tell them, instead of looking at performance increases, like from the base pay, why not just increase the performance slash bonus that you give at the end of every year, which is already earned by that employee the previous year? Don't give in advance. Kasi increases is like a pay in advance pay. Eh. Nagdagdag ka ng sweldo with the promise of better performance the following year. And then naiipit
Mm.
ka kasi you have to do it every single year even without performance. You're just paying for the tenure. So instead of paying for tenure, pay instead for actual output and performance that the person has earned. Kaya pag nagbigay ka ng performance bonus, kahit na mag-resign yung tao na yon the next day, hindi ka magtatampo. Because that person already earned that bonus.
Correct.
Pinagtrabahuhan na niya. Wala, quits-quits kayo. So when the person leaves, you're best friends. Pero a lot of companies kasi, inoferan niya ng malaking bonus para hindi umalis, tapos umalis. Then dun talaga nagkakaroon ng sama ng loob. Right? So again, bonuses is parang extra grasya. Be generous with bonuses. But with base pay, be very careful because may mga tao pa, in-increase mo, tuloy nagbayad ng tax. Later on, rereklamuhin ka kasi binawasan mo siya ng tax. Dati walang tax, ngayong may tax. Right? Or dinagdagan mo tapos nagkaroon ng COVID-19 pandemic tapos wala kayong sales. Tapos irereklamo. You know, like you have to be conscious na goodwill should not be bad will. So for akin talaga, sobrang conservative kami when it comes to increases kasi we know, we project the cost of that increase for this year up until the 10th year. 'Di ba? And we want to see talaga that we can sustain increases. But, to lang owner should also be conscious about real life situations. When you see onions at 600 to 750, you might want to increase their salaries too by at least the same amount. Case on case basis. Kasi that means it equalizes lang yung binabayaran mo sa tao. If dati binabayaran mo sa kanila is 15, kasi that's the minimum on a 6-day work week, dagdagan mo lang ng konti para makabili ng sibuyas. And I think that is the best. Parang, what do you call it? It's not every year, 'di ba? It's not every year, but you're aware with what's going on outside in the palengke. And you just want a little, give them a little bit of bonus. So at least they're still taking home the same take home pay. Oh, 'di ba? Ano 'yun, iba naman yung mindset. So I hope that everyone will parang find it useful. Coach Dar?
Ako, I always believe that annual performance review is a good practice to measure how the employee is meeting his or her target for the company. But with regards to annual performance increases, for me, it's a dangerous carrot to dangle to our employees. Sabi mo nga, as sabi nyo nga, Mentor Tina, Mentor Rona, it has so many factors that you have to consider: the profitability of the company, and of course also what will be the current inflation rate in the market, and how marketable are you in terms of what's your projection of your growth in the organization. And sometimes uh, at nangyayari ko talaga ha, minsan kahit maka-meet expectations ka lang sa performance review mo, ang mga employees nag-a-ask na already or nag-expect na already ng increase when you
Mm.
actually just meeting the performance expected from you, right?
Mm.
Um, it's best that we give bonuses or increases if, again, there's an outstanding or really ano uh, good performance being done by not only the team, by not only by one person but the whole team itself. Kasi nga ano yan eh, hindi naman po pwede na ano, it's a dangerous carrot, it's a rewards and recognition program that I believe that case to case basis, per industry, per company, and it takes a lot of maturity for leaders to actually provide their guidance. It's based on the demographics of the of the employees that they have. It's based on what's the current situation, the financial situation of the company, and their projection about the growth of the organization. Or, yun nga, baka mamaya malugi, sinasabi nga ni Mentor Tina, baka magbibigay tayo ng increase ngayon, hindi mo sustain, magsasara lang yung company. You're killing the golden goose that lays the golden egg. So it's something that we feel that there's a lot of maturity in that is needed to actually have a performance increase by companies. Pero balik tayo doon na walang sinasabing batas na kailangan magkaroon ng increase year after year or every year sa mga empleyado. So wag po tayo sa mga employees, wag naman po kayong magreklamo, wag po kayong malungkot kung hindi po nakapagbigay ng increase ang inyong company. You have to remember also that over the past 2.5 years, the whole world has been in the pandemic, and a lot of organizations has closed at ngayon pala nakabawi yung iba. So we have to be understanding. And sa companies naman, you also have to understand that employees are being faced into high inflation right now, and they need to survive. And for you to be able to retain them and for them not to jump ship to another company, you have to think of both monetary and non-monetary rewards and recognition that you can give your employees. So that's my take. Meron bang other takes ang audience natin dito? Mentor Shona, Mentor Stina? Baka yung mga mentors natin na nakikinig din, baka may input sila about this?
Yes, ayan. Meron tayo po dito. Again, hindi ko kita yung pangalan. So, sabi niya, performance evaluation is necessary, not so much because of salary increase. It is intended to inform employees on where they stand, what they're doing right, and what they still have to do in order to contribute further to the growth of the company. Employees feel anxiety when they are not told about where they stand in company. For good employees, money is secondary, which is actually true. The reason naman talaga why we have the performance appraisal is for the managers to assess and let the employees know where they stand. a lot of companies, a lot of people think na people leave because of money, but a good, based on the studies done, a good deal of people leave because they don't know what's happening. They don't know where they currently are at, where they stand. So, yung mga ganun na hindi clear, I actually have a lot of clients na ito yung problema nila. Ang reklamo ng mga employees is it's not clear. Ano ba yung performance ko? Nasaan ba ako? Ano yung kailangan kong gawin? What do I need to do to move up, to be better at what I do? So, performance appraisal answers all of that. The performance appraisal was never intended, or well, it was somehow intended, pero hindi talaga siya nilagay dyan para each time na mag-a-appraise ka, may kasamang increase. Hindi po yan ang dahilan kung merong appraisal, kung bakit may appraisal. Appraisal siya kasi you're being appraised, you're being told of what your current performance is all about. Ayan.
Agree. So, let's now start our updates to our community bago po tayo magpunta sa ating second part of our program. There is an update coming from the Department of Labor and Employment. And sa totoo lang, this is one of the smartest thing that they did for me. Kasi dati-dati, every holiday na lang naglalabas sila ng labor advisory. But for me, parang first time ko lang ata ito nakita na at the start of the year, before the start of the year, nilatag na nila kung ano yung mga regular holidays, special holidays, at kung ano yung payment of wages sa mga naturang holidays. So, sabi dito sa Labor Advisory number 27, series of 2022, for regular holidays, ito po yung January 1st, April 6, April 7, April 10, May 1, June 12, August 28, and November 27, December 25, December 30, at kung ano man date babagsak ang Edil Fitir, which is to be proclaimed, and yung Edil Adha, which is also to be proclaimed. Regular holidays, of course, if the employee does not work, the employer shall pay 100% of the employee's wage for that day. If work is done during our regular holidays, yan po yung tinatawag nating double pay or make 200% of an employee's wages. For work done in excess of 8 hours, of course, we know that we need to give an additional 30% of the hourly rate on the said day. And for those who have worked during a regular holiday that also falls on the employee's rest day, the employer shall pay the employees an additional 30% of the basic wage of 200% for that particular holiday that the employee has worked. Now, yung mga special days or special non-working days naman po, ito po yung January 2, February 25, April 8, August 21, November 1, November 2, December 8, and December 31. Ito po, dito po yung no work, no pay policy if the employee does not work. So, if the employee is not working on this particular days, no work, no pay principles shall apply unless meron kayong favorable company policy or existing CBA na nag-grant ng payment on the special day. Now, for work done during special days, papamasok po sa empleyado during special non-working days, meron po silang additional na 30% of the basic wage on the first 8 hours of their work. And in excess naman po, of course, we shall give an employee additional 30% of the hourly rate on the said day. Similarly, if work has been done during special days that falls on the employee's rest day, the employer shall pay the employee additional 50% of the basic wage on the first 8 hours of work. Now, this is good news kasi every time na mag-a-ask si employee, pwede nyo na pong ipaskill to sa bulletin board nyo. Reference sa po to sa lahat ng holidays. Hindi nyo na po kailangan maglabas ng memo every holiday na usually ginagawa din ng Department of Labor and Employment. Ngayon, isa lang ang reference natin with regards to holiday and holiday pay. Ito po ang Labor Advisory number 27, series of 2022. Okay, so let's go ahead and updates with regards to SSS mentors. Rona, nako, napakalaking usapin ito sa ngayon. Kasi ang SSS ay magtataas daw ng premium. Totoo ba ito?
Yes, correct po. Magtataas ng premium ang SSS, pero bago po kayo mataranta, ang magtataas lang po ay yung side ng employer. Ang dami mga nagko-comment ng mga employees na, ay, hindi naman tumataas ang sweldo ko. Guys, employer lang po ang nagtaas, hindi pa po nagtataas ang side ng employee. At the same time, ito po ay hindi na bago dahil 2018 pa lang po, via the Social Security Act of 2018, ito po ay in-announce na ng SSS. Kaya nga palagi nating sinasabi, basahin ang Social Security Act of 2018 dahil may mga nakapending na increase this year, next year, para po doon sa mga members ng SSS. So for this year, employer lang po ang magtataas. So nagtaas po sila from 4% to 4.5%. And then for next year po, so ayan, makikita nyo dito sa naka-display natin na schedule. For 2023, umakyat siya from 4%, from 8.5%, naging 9.5% na siya. And then for 2025, sabay po na magtataas ang employer at ang employee side. So 2025 pa naman po magtataas for the employee side. Pero dapat ito po ay naisama nyo na sa mga projections ninyo, especially yung employer side, dahil tulad nga ng sabi natin, 2018 pa lang po in-announce na ito. Ngayon, kung iisipin nyo po na, ay, kaya siya tinataas dahil nung 2020, masyadong maraming nilabas na mga benefits at kung ano-ano pa, hindi lang po yun ang dahilan. Kasi bago pa nagka-pandemic, nakaplano na po talaga ito. So ito pong pagtaas ng employer contribution for SSS, effective na po ito ng January 1. Pag nagbayad na po kayo ng February, computed na po yung employer side at 9.5% po. So ito po ay, again, alinsunod sa Social Security Act of 2018 at ito po ay ginagawa ng SSS para ma-ensure na masusustain po lahat ng mga programs ng SSS. Dahil kung inyo pong maaalala, yung atin pong Social Security Act of 2018 actually paved the way for a number of increase in benefits and additional benefits such as the unemployment benefit from SSS. So ayan po, again, magiging 14% na po ang total contribution because of the 1% increase doon po sa ating employer side. Ano po ang mangyayari dito sa increase na to? Ito po ay gagamitin to fund yung ating pong unemployment benefit para po sa mga empleyado na natanggalan ng trabaho due to authorized cause or hindi naman po nila kasalanan. Ito po mga taong ito ay maaari po silang mag-apply for unemployment benefit. Pinakamalaki pong release ng unemployment benefit was in 2020 dahil nga po kasagsagan ng pandemic at marami po talaga mga companies ang nag-close down. By 2021, medyo bumaba na po siya. Wala pa po tayong figures for 2022 pero most likely meron pa rin po yung mga companies na nagsara ng 2022. Maaaring hindi lang siya kasing dami ng 2021 at ng 2020. Bukod pa po dito, ito rin pong increase na ito ay gagamitin para din pumapondohan yung ating maternity benefit na binibigay sa mga babaeng membro naman po ng SSS. Tatandaan po natin na nagkaroon po tayo ng expanded maternity leave law which now makes use of 105 days sa computation po ng benefit. Hindi katulad dati na tayo ay naka 60 days at 78 days para po doon sa normal delivery at cesarean delivery respectively. Tandaan din po natin na kung dati ay 4 na ang kino-cover ng ating maternity benefit, ngayon po ay only anak na po, only ire. Kumbaga, wala na po tayong limit ngayon. Kaya syempre, para masustain po itong benefit na to, hindi po pwedeng yung dating contributions natin, yun pa rin po yung gagamitin natin. Dahil sobrang kukulangin po ang SSS. At the same time, kailangan din po nating keep in mind na tinaasan po kasi yung ating yung ating salary credits. So syempre mas malaki, mas mataas na rin po yung maternity benefit na i-release. Which is actually a good news kasi mas mako-cover na ngayon yung gastusin ng mga nanganganak. Kasi kung dati, 'di ba, magkano lang yung makukuha mo pag nanganak ka? Kumbaga yung makukuha mo pang lying in lang ng mga clinics ang kakayanin na gastos. Pero ngayon, dahil mas mataas na ang ating salary credit, mas malaki na nakukuha ng mga nanganganak na miyembro. So dati 60, 78 days, ngayon po ay 105 days na po, plus may 15 days pa pag kayo po ay solo parent. Ayan po. Ikatlong dahilan din po or ikatlong benepisyo din po nitong increase na ito ay mas magiging sapat na po ang pondo ng SSS para po sa mga COVID cases. Tatandaan po natin na ang sickness benefit ni SSS, dalawa po ito. Isang sickness benefit under SSS at meron pang EC sickness benefit. Pareho pong kumukuha yan sa pondo ng SSS. So, kailangan din po natin kailangan ma-cover yung mga applications for sickness benefit. Tandaan po natin na hindi pa naman tapos ang COVID, so at hindi naman nawawala ang sickness talaga. Magkakaroon pa rin yan in the future. So, para lang ma-make sure natin na merong coverage for that, kailangan talaga ang pagtataas nitong ating contributions kay SSS. At hindi lang po sickness, pati po yung mga death benefit. So kung kunwari namatayan po kayo at yung namatay ay miyembro ng SSS, may funeral benefit at may death benefit na po pwede kayong i-claim dahil sa pagkamatay ng miyembro na yon. At ang ating funeral benefit, kung dati po ito ay mababa lang, nasa around 12,000 if my memory serves me right. Ngayon po tumaas na po ito from 20,000 to 40,000 pesos depending sa kung ilan na po yung contribution ninyo. Ganon din po doon sa ating death benefit. Kaya maganda rin itong increase na to ng ating contributions, mako-cover din niya kung ano man yung mga claims for death and funeral benefits. At syempre po, magiging mataas na rin po yung mga benefits na binibigay ni SSS, yung actual amount, dahil nga sa nagtaas na rin ang ating salary credit for SSS. Pag tataas kasi pag nagkakaroon ng increase sa contributions, usually kasabay po niyan ang pagtataas din po ng ating mga salary credits. At napahaba din po nitong contributions na to ang buhay ng pondo ng SSS.
So, Dr. Rona, di ba, merong issue dati na magsasara daw ang SSS kasi palugi na ito?
Correct. Oo. So nagkaroon actually ng issue dati na baka magsara na ang SSS. So ngayon, dahil nga sa additional contribution, kahit papano, naibsan yung worry na yon ng mga members na bigla na lang magsasara ang SSS. So kahit papano, meron na po itong mas humaba na po at hanggang 2054, so ilang taon na ako, covered na ako. Yes, may makukuha.
Nagkakaya ba tayo doon?
Oo, meron na tayong may retirement benefit na tayo makukuha noon. So kailangan umabot sa pag tayo ang nag-retire na. So at least ngayon po ay humaba na po based on the actuarial valuation, latest actuarial valuation na ginawa, yung life po ng SSS ay aabutin hanggang 2054. Now of course, this is based on the current na contribution. So pag nagkaroon pa po ng increase by 2025, most likely yung 2054 na hangganan ng SSS ay mas ma-extend pa po ito. At syempre po, lumaki din po ang assets ng SSS. So tandaan po natin yung ating mga contributions kasi ito ay ini-invest ng SSS sa iba't ibang mga bagay-bagay. So for example, treasury bonds, treasury bills, nag-i-invest si SSS doon. At dahil sa mga investments na yun, mas lumalaki yung nagiging asset ngayon ni SSS, mas nagiging solid siya at mas kinakaya niya na i-cover lahat ng mga pangangailangan ng mga miyembro ng SSS. Ayan. So nakapagpatatag din po because of the increase, nagkaroon din tayo ng mandatory provident fund. So bakit mahalaga na meron tayong provident fund? Yun ang aim kasi ng various government agencies, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, is to take care of the employees once they retire. So dahil sa mandatory provident fund, pag tayo po ay nag-retire, especially yung mga kakapasok pa lang sa workforce right now, pag tayo po ay nag-retire, apart from the retirement benefit na binibigay ng SSS and the retirement benefit shouldered by the employers, meron na din po kayong ngayong retirement benefit na makukuha under the mandatory provident fund. So para siyang savings program, it is actually a savings program, at kung ano man po yung interest na ma-earn noon, makukuha niyo po siya as a pension. Dagdag pension po ito, bukod pa doon sa retirement benefit, regular retirement benefit na binibigay ng SSS. Ayan po. So, may lahat itong mga increase na ito ay para ma-ensure na yung mga benefit natin, pagdating ng retirement natin, ay makukuha natin siya at malaki ang makukuha natin, hindi yung maliliit na amount lang. Apart from that, para din ma-ensure ang life ng SSS, inopen na din po nila ang Workers Investment and Savings Program, doon po sa mga hindi sumasampa sa more than 20,000 ang kanilang salary credit via the WISP Plus. Okay? So dati merong peso fund at flexi fund si SSS, kinonsolidate na po yan ngayon under the Workers Investment and Savings Program Plus. So ito po ay voluntary membership, hindi katulad ng ating mandatory provident fund or yung simpleng WISP lang na automatic magiging member ka pag lagpas 20,000 ang salary credit mo. So ito po, para makasali, dapat ang mga miyembro po ay wala pang final claim. So pag sinabi nating final claim, ito po yung retirement, death at saka total disability. At dapat meron po kayo kahit isa lang na contribution sa ilalim ng regular SSS program, at ang inyo pong magiging contribution dito kay WISP ay magbabase po dun sa inyong monthly salary credit. So madali lang po ang pagsali dito. Visit lang po kayo ng my.sss account nyo po para kayo ay makapag-enroll para dito. Or you can also email member_relations@sss.gov.ph. Again, ang WISP Plus po ay voluntary. Yung regular WISP po ay mandatory. Hindi po yan pwedeng i-waive kahit na ano pang ibigay ninyong document. Hindi ma-waive ang coverage po dun sa mandatory na WISP po natin. At para naman po sa ating mga pensioners, pinabilis na rin po ni SSS ang proseso ng pag-a-apply for pension loan. So kahit weekend, kahit holiday, alas 12 ng hating gabi, po pwede na po kayong mag-apply ng pension loan dahil online na po ang application for the SSS pension loan. Up to 200,000 po with low interest ang po pwede nyo pong i-claim or pwede kayo mag-apply na pension loan. Tandaan lang po natin na ang pension loan po, ang payment po nito ay i-deduct sa inyo pong pension. Okay? So, tulad ng kahit na ano pang utang, kung hindi kinakailangan, kung hindi naman required, hindi nyo kailangan na mag-file ng loan para sa pension loan. Hindi na po uso ngayon yung sinasabi dati, nung before pa na automate si SSS na mag-loan ka dahil baka gamitin na iba yung SSS number mo. Hindi na po yun ngayon nangyayari kasi pag nagamit ng iba yan, ibig sabihin, binigyan nyo sila ng access sa inyong my.sss. Okay. At Pag-ibig, Mentor Tina, meron po ba tayong bagong announcement mula kay Pag-ibig?
Yes, pag may dumating po sa opisina ninyo ng Pag-ibig Fund Officers na may ID at humihingi po ng papasko or any sort of contributions, please note that they are fake. It is not true that Pag-ibig Fund Officers will go to your office and ask for money or things in kind. Kung gusto nyo po magbigay, please don't do so and report these unscrupulous individuals to Pag-ibig Fund because fake po sila. Okay, Pag-ibig does not allow anyone to come in and ask for money. Next. I did not know this, but this is very good. If you are using DHL, you can enjoy a 10% discount for export shipments and earn miles to get additional shipping credits using your Pag-ibig Loyalty Card and Pag-ibig Loyalty Card Plus. For anyone who wants to have a very quick ID to apply for, all you have to do is go to Pag-ibig and apply for this Pag-ibig Loyalty Card for a very minimum amount and maibabalik nun. A lot of people also do not know that you can avail of home loans using Pag-ibig. Kinompute ko yun eh. Pag ang sahod nyo po ay 16,000 pesos, for example, you may avail of loans from Pag-ibig up to almost 650,000 pesos. That is payable for 15, 20, 25, and 30 years. Sa mga taong nagrereklamo po, wag na kayo doon sa 5-6 kasi doon 10% per month. In Pag-ibig, that is 10% per year. But you have to avail of a home loan. Okay? Marami kaming mga tao, sasabihin nila sa amin, "Ma'am, gusto naming bumili ng bahay, pwede mangutang." Naku po, wag ka sa amin umutang kasi baka 10 years later, ayaw mo nang magtrabaho sa amin. Pero hindi ka makaresign kasi baon ka sa utang. Always, Pag-ibig is the best place to borrow money for your home, and 15 to 20 or 25 to 30 years goes by so fast. I recommend to all of my people, lalong-lalo na sa mga may asawa, dapat mas maganda kung pareho kayo nagtatrabaho, tig-isa. And yung 650,000 na yon, sasabihin naman natin, magkano ba ang bayad ko sa per month? Surprisingly, it's around 6,000 pesos lang per month, which is not bad for 650,000. Saan ka pupulot ng 650,000? Huwag ka bumili ng kotse, bahay, bahay. Okay? And for me, another way to look at it is you can also avail of the Pag-ibig MP2 fund. SSS just released the details of WIS Plus, but I am still a bigger believer of Pag-ibig MP2 kasi at least it's only a 5-year timeline. I don't know what's gonna happen in SSS in 2050, but I do know that my money in Pag-ibig MP2 fund is safe and sound and will earn me higher than time deposit interest rates, which is now at least 4.2%. Sa mga taong may pera, pakilagay na lang po sa time deposit if you have enough money, or if you don't, sa Pag-ibig MP2 fund, because it is really a very safe place to park your money. Next.
Agree.
Official statement ng PhilHealth, hindi po
Naku,
nila
ano dito?
i-increase.
Isa
Oo,
to sa mga
4% pa rin
pinag-uusapan.
this year. 4% pa rin this year. Tignan natin next year, baka magpalit ng isip, but right now, no changes, 4% this year. 2% each. Alright? Next. Let's also not forget that PhilHealth also has benefits for mobility, orthosis, rehabilitation, prosthesis help, and expanded Zaymorph. Meron kaming case, may allergy yung staff namin. Nagpatingin sa doktor, tas later on the hospital said, "Ma'am, hindi po covered yung illness ng tao sa PhilHealth." Sabi ko, kausapin mo yung doktor mo. Kasi, di ba, may mga case rates yan eh. Ang ginawa kasi ng doktor, and you have to be very conscious about it, is napaka-specific yung diagnosis ng disease. So, pag search niyo hospital doon sa PhilHealth, hindi kasama sa case rate. Pero actually, sa totoo lang, ang disease niya is allergy. Due to allergy. So, pag may nakasulat na word ng allergy doon, covered. Tsaka may deduction talaga sa hospital. So, when you find out that your case is not covered by the hospital, please talk to your doctor and actually do your research to ensure that the deductions will be there. Kasi minsan, ang masyado kasi matalino ang doktor eh, masyadong medical yung pangalan ng disease. Yung pala, sa totoo lang, ano lang siya, allergy lang. Okay? So that's a fun tip lang. Malaki pa rin ang deductions ng PhilHealth. So please ensure that the case rate names is equal to the diagnosis that your doctor gives to avail of maximum deduction sa PhilHealth. Next. Again, spinal orthesis, di ba? Yung mga 30,000 to 75,000. Again, we've heard so many bad things about PhilHealth over the last couple of months, and yet there are still benefits that is existing right now at only 2% employee and employer share. Still not bad. Pag nagkasakit ka po,
Agree.
babalik po sa'yo yung pera. Next, Coach Darwin.
Agree. So just a few reminders from our sponsors. El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. They have beach resorts and vacation club in Pangasinan, in Boracay, and also in Palawan. If you are a member of the Philippines HR Group or an avid listener of the HR Cafe, just reach out to them at their Facebook page, El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. Inform them if you're a member of the Philippines HR Group or a avid listener of the HR Cafe. You will be given discounts and exclusive privileges. And also, if your company is looking to start a healthy year for this year, we would like to encourage you to look into eShield. eShield is a wearable solution for employees' health management. And for all members of the Philippines HR Group, your company is entitled to 50% exclusive discount when you avail of eShield for your company. Just register at the eShield website at www.shield.me/ph-hr. eShield is a partner of the Philippines HR Group and the HR Cafe to promote healthy lifestyles to our company's employees. And if you have any questions about HR topics, please post it at the main page of the Philippines HR group. Huwag po sa ano ha, sa personal Facebook namin kasi to be honest, and I'm sure Mentor Sona and Mentor Tina are also experiencing this. We've been receiving hundreds of questions, inquiries, DMs every day. Mas maganda po pag i-post po ito sa Philippines HR group. If you want to be anonymous, you can. Pero ang reason po ito, ba't namin kayo na-encourage is para po yung mga taong may same issues or same concerns, madali nilang mabasa at it's a learning for everyone. Also,
Mm.
if you have LinkedIn, please, we have a growing community in LinkedIn. We have more than 15,000 members right now in LinkedIn. In Facebook, we have more than 285,000 already. And also, we encourage you to like the FB page of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay Iba Pa. Lahat po ng recordings from episode 1 and we're now at episode 119. So lahat po very valuable recordings of learnings is there. Po pwede niyo po itong gamitin sa mga free learning programs nyo sa inyong company, di ba? You just go to the second part and play the learnings from our mentors that our guest speakers for that particular episode. Or if you would like, if your company is generous, we are also encouraging you to be our sponsors. Please reach out to any of our mentors, Mentors Tina, Mentors Rona, and Mentors Burns, and of course, yours truly. Or you can reach out to the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay Iba Pa. We are encouraging companies, if you would like us to promote you guys in our program, please reach out to us. And we're now on our second part of the program, which is the free training. And this is coming from Sir June Mendoza. Mentor Tina, will you be doing
I
the
would love
introductions?
to Mr. Sir June Mendoza changed the way I looked at HR. He made HR more respectable. And I am in awe of him for always freely sharing his knowledge in a
Agree.
gracious, non arrogant manner. So it's my pleasure to introduce him. He has been retired from the corporate world from August 2018. However, he has 38 years of exposure, 25 years in an executive capacity, advising firms in industries such as banking, transportation, hotel resort, security services, and other trading concerns. He actually started his career in 1980 as a sales training officer of Group Developers Inc., the mother company of the Loyola Memorial Group. 7 years later, he joined the GA Yupanco Group as his assistant sales manager. So he has a very sales background. And then moved to John Clemens Consultant as a senior training, learning naman, conducting a wide variety of training programs for local and multinational firms. In 1988, he joined Caltex Philippines HR Planning and Development Group, where is his charge for recruitment and training. In 1993, he became the AVP of Solid Bank Training and Organizational Development Division, managing the department end to end, and then later on being promoted as the head of the entire HR division of the bank. When Metrobank acquired Solid Bank in 2000, Philippine Savings Bank, which is the subsidiary of Metrobank, invited Sir June to head its HR group. So yes, hindi you notice the trend. So I'm happy to explain what his career, because he's really my spirit animal. So 3 years later, he joined RCBC as the first vice president and head of HR. After 10 years of being a banker, he left the industry to join the BPO in 2004. He became the HR director of iTouch Point, which is a US based call center. But in 2006, he joined the BPO's big league as the general manager for HR of IBM Dax Philippines, the call center subsidiary of IBM, the technology giant. He spent 5 years in the BPO industry and then rejoined the banking industry in 2008 in China Trust Philippines as the SVP and Group Head of HR and Administration. He spent 10 years there. 10 years. And then retired from CTBC Bank last August 2018. but they immediately engaged him as a consultant and has continued to help the bank in various legal cases in court. He's talked about his experience before in China Trust. Very good company, very good bank, very generous benefits, and yet meron pa rin silang labor concerns. Grabe. So Sir June is also an active member of the Philippine HR Group. Very much valued, the largest social networking group in the Philippines, devoted to HR concerns, where he contributes his insights, share his experience, and provides advice to those who needs it the most. He is an educator by vocation. People do not know he was a part-time professor of De La Salle University's Graduate School of Business, where he taught human behavior and organizations in the MBA level for 6 years. He was also part of the MBA faculty of Ateneo de Manila University for 4 years, where he taught HR management. He has an MBA from Ateneo de Manila University, a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from De La Salle University. He is married and blessed with 2 children and many grandchildren. Let us all welcome Sir June Mendoza. Animo, Sir June! Ano ka? Sir, Lasal Ateneo, Lasal Ateneo. Kasi nakasulat green but you're Atenean too. Sir June, naka-mute kayo, sir.
Medyo naka-mute.
Diba? Like, I'm confused. Your profile, everything is all Lasal, but you're actually a true blue Atenean. Sir, mute? Muted,
Sir,
sir?
naka-mute po kayo.
Can you hear me?
Yan. Yes, sir. Perfect.
All right. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I will, I'll make that an ongoing mystery whether it's green or blue.
Exactly. I
I'm,
think you,
I'm a
you
mix
ano,
of two colors.
Pati yung
correct.
background ngayon ni Sir Jun, naka-green siya pero ang background blue.
Blue.
And
Very
my
good.
presentation materials are green.
I wonder, sir, pag nag-attend kayo ng UAAP, kung sino share nyo?
UP daw.
My youngest daughter is Ateneo and my eldest daughter is UP. So, the recent finals, I prefer to stay at home.
Yes, sir. So we're very glad to have you. We will be in the back end to support you. Shall we present your presentation?
Yes.
It's
Ayun.
it's on sharing already.
Yes, it's
Yan,
sir.
perfect. Yes, with animation. Everything is okay.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. I'll give you
We'll
the
be in the
floor.
back, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mentor Tina, for that wonderful introduction. And of course, thank you very much to Coach Darwin for inviting me again. No, this is my third appearance in HR Cafe. I believe the last one was way back 2021. So at least a year ago. And I had another one in 2020. So it's been some time. I am very much delighted and thrilled to come back and share with our HR practitioners out there some of my experiences, which hopefully will be helpful in your very own careers. Yan ang naging mission ng isang retired HR, okay, na mag-share na lang ng kanyang experiences. And it's so timely because it's the new year, where as a culture and as a custom, we always want to renew everything at the start of the year. But before I go on, let me just explain what you see on the right side of the screen, because you may have some impressions that I'm a doctor because it says they're HR surgeon. Well, those who have attended my webinars last year know exactly what this is, because I explained that in detail, which actually started as a joke. All right, it started as a joke. You see, when I was still working in the banking industry, I was what you call an attorney in fact of the bank. Some of the banks that I work for. What is an attorney in fact? Well, for the layman, think of it of some kind of how do you call it? I forgot the term, the legal term, but it's some kind of power of attorney. All right, like when you have relatives in the state and they want you to transact for something, money or real estate on their behalf, they grant you a power of attorney. So, ganun din yung aking titulo as the HR head of some of the banks I work for. I was also appointed by as attorney, in fact. And although I am not a lawyer, all right, and that's it. That's the reason. That's exactly the reason why I had to be appointed attorney. In fact, because you see, in the courts, no, they only allow lawyers to represent their companies, no, in the criminal courts, in the civil courts, and actually also in the labor court. So in NLRC, no, they only allow a lawyer, but there is an exception. Okay, in the NLRC, that is if you are appointed by your company as an authorized representative through the board of directors, and that's why I have a board certificate that gave me the authority to represent, and I'm very grateful to the banks that I work for giving me that opportunity, because in that way I was able to gain a lot of exposure to the labor arbiters, no, and essentially I got a peek into the mind of the labor arbiter, and that I think gave me a lot of advantage in handling disciplinary cases. So the reason it started as a joke, because every time I would appear in court, I am being addressed as Attorney Mendoza. And every time that happens, which is so very often, I keep on correcting. I correct the judge. I correct the labor arbiter. I correct even the attorney of the the opposing attorney. Yung tinatawag sa akin panyero. So I correct them. I say hindi po ako abogado, right? So when I got back to office, my colleagues told me, sir, hindi ka nga abogado, pero doktor ka naman. Huh? Sabi ko, doktor? Sabi ko, paano ako naging doktor? Kasi lahat kami ang tawag sa'yo, Sir June. Yun, okay. Kaya it started as a joke, naging Sir John, no? And I thought about that, and I said, there are a lot of similarities between a surgeon and what I did in my job as the HR head, no? Because I saw the entire workplace as some kind of operating room, na pag may pumapasok na merong sakit, all right, and those sickness or those illnesses, are always regarding people issues, and sabi ko, I diagnose them, and if needed, I slice them up, take out whatever is affecting the organization, and I stitch it back. So it makes me a surgeon, an HR surgeon. Yon, okay? So wag po kayong magtaka kung hindi po ako doktor, at lalo-lalo na hindi po ako abogado. All right? To set things straight sa umpisang-umpisa. I don't want to mislead. So ayan ang ginawa ko, And if you notice, even the logo, which is a scalpel, a needle, and a thread, it's arranged in such a way that the letters HR are, medyo disimulado lang nga, but it's HR, okay? All right. So as my first slide, and don't you worry, this is not the end of my presentation, all right? I just thought that it being a new year, I thought that the first order of the day, or should I say the first order of the year, is to thank a lot of supporters that I interacted with, not only last year but even the years before. I said it's in order that I thank and I pay my gratitude to them. Napakadami po nila. Maraming salamat po. Unang-una po dyan, yung mga nagpo-post sa PHRG. Alam mo, I try as much as possible that not a day passes that I go to PHRG. I look if there are especially posts that are a bit troubling, na malalaman mo naman kung kailangan ng tulong nung nagpo-post, I try my best to explain in a very objective way how the person can resolve his problems or his query. So maraming pong salamat sa inyo, because hindi nyo lang po alam, but you've helped a lot of HR practitioners, because in posting your queries, maraming involved sa discussion, and that's exactly what PHRG for, because it is a venue, it is a vehicle for learning. So marami pong salamat sa inyo. Naku, lalo na po yung mga sumubaybay sa aking mga comments, no? At lalo-lalo na yung aking mga post na alam po siguro ng lahat by now that napakahaba, no, ng post ko, puro nobela po 'yan, no? And when I started doing that 2 years ago, no, maraming nagko-comment ng haba naman, etc., no? Dapat brief and concise ka, no? But I maintained my position because I felt that especially when legalities are involved, you cannot comment by one or two sentences, no? May mga ibang nagtatanong, legal ba to? May mga sumasagot, believe it or not, yes o kaya no. Akala ko ba ang PHRG is a venue for learning? And so hindi po naiiwasan that I need to expound on things. So pasensya na, yung mga iba siguro are bored, no? Alam ko ngayon na when you post, you have to sometimes put a 2-minute read or something, no? Sa akin po, ang aking post standard, no, it's 1,000 words, all right? Sinusukat ko yan sa MS Word. So maraming salamat those who read from first word to the last word in my post, no? I hope po marami po kayong natutunan sa mga posts ko. At lalo-lalo na po yung mga nagpapadala sa akin ng PM. Nako, may mga ka-PM po ako dyan na talagang real time na umaabot po kami ng alas 3, alas 4 ng umaga. Thank you po for chatting with me because hindi po natatanong ng mga iba. Ang pagkakaiba po when I address queries in public, in PHRG, at saka yung pag may nag-PM sa akin, kumbaga the relationship is more intimate when they chat with me via PM. Alam ko po lahat, dinedivulge sa akin. Sa PHRG po, pwede kang mag-anonymous. Sa akin po, my rule of thumb is hindi. So kung may reklamo sila sa employer, kailangan sabihin nila yung pangalan ng employer. May reklamo sila sa boss nila, sa HR head nila, sa presidente nila ng kumpanya. Hindi po ako pumapayag na sabihin mo sa akin ni Mr. Juan de la Cruz. Alam ko po, pati po yung mga memo na pinapadala nila, kunwari merong na NTE, and I analyze it to see if there are flaws or if the termination, for instance, was unjust, no? Ay alam ko po, no? Alam ko po kung sino po ang sumulat, sino yung presidente. Everything is visible po to me, no? So thank you for your trust po, no? Isipin mo, pinapakita po sa akin lahat yan. Wala po akong pinipirmahan na NDA, no? Although I am very much willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and yet, they trusted me. Maraming salamat po. Marami din po ako natutunan sa inyo because you come from different industries, no? And hindi nyo lang po alam but I am overjoyed po do sa mga natulungan ko, no? Ako lalo hindi ko po makakalimutan yung 32 employees po na lumapit sa akin na unjustly dismissed, no? Ng kanilang employer na sinabi na bankrupt sila kaya wala silang separation pay, no? And kahit papaano po, no, kasi my first advice is always huwag kayong pupunta diretso sa DOLE, huwag kayong pupunta diretso sa NLRC, no? Tingnan natin kung magagawa pa natin ng paraan. So they sought my help and I wrote a letter directly to the president. And of course, medyo may konting suntok, may konting punch yung letter ko, no? And I talk about a lot of legalities. And awanan Diyos po, in less than 7 days, they all got their retirement pay or their separation pay. So you cannot imagine po the joy that those kinds of things bring to me, no? So maraming salamat po, no? Noong 2021, 714 po ang lumapit sa akin via PM. And this exponentially increased last year. I handled 1,186 PMs po in 2022. Marami pong salamat sa inyo, no? Because nag-average po ako ng 32 PMs a day. Kaya meron na po akong auto-response na, just leave your query and I will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours, which I do. Medyo may mga sumasablay. I would say 99% of the time, maliban nung October dahil tinamaan din ako nag-positive din ako sa COVID. So medyo sumablay ako sa pagsasagot nun. But otherwise, no, I was able to respond. At I think at least 70% of them naman nabigyan ko ng solusyon at there were positive results. So thank you for the learning experience and for the opportunity that you gave to me to help you out, no? Nako, marami pong salamat sa mga nag-attend ng webinars namin. As most of you probably know, I have been engaged by a consultancy outfit, Alpine Solutions Delivery, which is owned and founded by my good friend Albert and Tao. And since the start of the year, we have been offering training programs that focused on the labor code and the discipline process. Ang tawag po namin diyan yung discipline trio, no? Yung discipline trio po, tatlo 'yon na magkakasunod na consecutive courses, no? Starting with judgment call, which is our flagship program, no? Lahat po dumadaan diyan. They cannot go to the next level and the next level without going through judgment call, no? Because those are the basics of the labor code. Pag marunong na po sila ng labor code, diretso na po sila sa right to discipline. And this is, we teach now people how to write NTEs, termination memo, suspension memo with restitution of money, no? So binigyan po namin ng skills, no, on how to write. And once alam na po nila yan, enroll na naman sila sa susunod, which is Let's Talk Discipline. Hawak mo na yung memo, paano mo naman isi-serve at paano mo kakausapin, no, yung taong kailangan idisiplina. And marami pong salamat. Actually, we started officially in February, but we only had one batch. So kung titingnan nyo, nag-umpisa talaga kami in June, no? So something like 7 or 8 months lang, pero naka 15 batches kami and we graduated 319 participants. Sa ibang pananaw, medyo kokonte, but that's because very strict kami ni Albert and Tao ng Alpine na we keep the maximum number of participants to 25. Kasi ang aming philosophy dyan is quality learning and not volume. So, hindi kami po lumalampas ng 25. Kaya minsan, nagdadalawang batches kami, pagod na pagod kami sa isang buwan kasi may overspill, no, yung isang batch. So, maraming pong salamat sa pagtangkilik ninyo ng aming programs, no, and we commit to do more programs in 2023, no, at papasukan na rin namin yung mga recruitment skills at saka yung mga interviewing skills. So, wait for that, no. And hindi po namin plinano, hindi po namin strategize, pero may 2 corporate batches po kami. In other words, merong mga nag-inquire sa amin ng mga companies and we conducted in-house programs for them on judgment call, no? So we had something like at least 30 participants for each of these 2 corporate batches. So, pumapalo po ng a little less than 400 ang nag-graduate namin participants sa training program. So, marami pong salamat sa inyo. And last but not the least, it may seem trivial but certainly not to me, all right? Maraming pong salamat sa mga nagpagdala ng pagkain sa bahay, okay? Tuwan-tuwa po ko. Alam nyo, every time I respond, no, to queries in PM, inihingi po sa akin yung aking GCash account number, all right? And I consistently refuse kasi ayoko magpabayad po. Pag it is PHRG member, libre po ang consultation diyan, no? So, but I can see the desire in them to really thank me, no, and I don't want to deprive. I can never deprive somebody who wants to show an act of gratitude. So sinasabi ko, okay, paborito ko Dunkin Donuts. So padala niyo na ako ng Dunkin Donuts kung talagang gusto niyo magpadala, no? Minsan sineswerte ang pinapadala Krispy Kreme, no? At minsan talagang napakaswerte, no? Maabot pa ako sa Mary Grace na yung masarap na cheese rolls, no? So marami po salamat at meron pang taga Bacolod nagpadala sa akin ng mga Bacolod delicacies, no? All the way from Bacolod. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, no? Dahil sa inyo po dumoble ang dosage ko ng metformin. I'm just kidding, no? Kasi diabetic ako pero alalay din naman ako diyan, no? All right. So, let's go to our subject for today, which is bagong taon, bagong HR. How very appropriate, no? Renewing our own perspectives as HR practitioners in 2023. Alam nyo, there is really nothing new, all right? Yes, it is a new year, but like our New Year's resolution, hindi ko alam kung uso pa ba yun, no? Does anybody here still, write their New Year's resolution, no? But, everybody knows that New Year's resolution, lagi namang sumasablay yan, di ba? Okay? yung nangyayari dyan is we keep on writing, we try to commit, etc. No, yes, we achieve some, but the others we don't. And so what happens? The New Year's resolution for the new year is actually a carry over, all right, of the previous year. And that's why I say there is really nothing new about it. But what is new is that we want to do, okay, better than we did before, all right? And that has always been my overriding uh, philosophy. No, when I was HR head, I was first an HR head way back 2020. Year 2000. No, so 23 years ago. And as I look back, taon-taon, kada taon, no? Because we have, strategic planning, etc. We lay out our plans for HR for the entire year, how we would serve the organization better, no? I thought, ano ba yung common denominator? What was, something common that I really wanted always at the start of the year? And I found out it was a very simple, but I felt a meaningful initiative, no? Is simply to make the organization a better workplace for everyone, for each and every employee, from all levels of the organization. And I think it's something very meaningful to me. But when I looked at it closer, ang sabi ko, well, how can I give something better when, you know, I am not better? In other words, it should start with me. In order to provide something better to the rest of the institution, no, I should also be better than before. All right. And so this is what today's session is all about. That it all starts with ourselves. Lagi, siguro lahat ng HR practitioners, lalo-lalo na po yung mga HR heads, ang pakay niya talaga pag sa simulan taon, I want to do better than before. I cannot think of an HR head who doesn't want to do that, who would not want to do that, no. Pero ang question is, to give something better, we should be better, and therefore we should start with ourselves. And so this session is really all about you as an HR practitioner. Tsupwera nyo na ako kasi retired na ako. Okay? Kung hindi ako retired, lalagay ko dyan as. Okay? Pero you na to. Alright? So nananahimik na lang ako sa bahay. Alright? And so in this session, no, we will talk about perspective because I feel that everything starts with perspective. Ano po ang pananaw natin sa ating trabaho, sa ating buhay, no, sa ating mga kasamahan sa trabaho, sa lahat po, it all starts with perspective. Okay? And what I'm going to share with you are the perspectives that I have adopted. Okay? And mind you, they were not really, shall we say, it was a bumpy road, no? Because I will have to admit to you that, I also did not have the right perspectives, way back. All right, and that I corrected this over time, no? Some with regret because sabi ko, parang huli na ang lahat at hindi ko nabago agad yung perspective. In other words, I am pretty sure that because of some wrong perspectives, I also had some opportunity losses in my career. All right. And that's exactly what I wanted to share with you. Again, make no mistake about it. No, I will be sharing my experiences, but this session is really about you. Okay. Why? Because I would like to share some of the mistakes I made in my career. No, mistakes because I adopted a wrong perspective. No, later on, I realized that for some, I didn't even realize, okay? But for some, I realized them late. And so sabi ko nga kanina, I'm pretty sure there were some opportunity losses. So why is this session all about you? Simpleng-simple lang. Kasi, di ba meron tayong kasabihan that experience is the best teacher. Alright? And when you say that experience is the best teacher, ang ibig natin sabihin dyan is that, we should learn from our own mistakes. Diba? Kasi na-experience talaga natin, and when we are hit when we know that we made a mistake and we failed somehow, and we realize that babangon tayo and we correct ourselves, okay? That's good, all right? That is good. But there is something better when you learn from the mistakes of others. And it is my hope that as I share my mistakes in my career, um, you know, working with uh, 10 different organizations over a span of almost 40 years in 6 different industries, changing perspectives here and there, trying to correct them. Some I did not correct. I hope that as I share all of this with you, you will be able to spot some. I'm not saying that you should adopt all these 7 perspectives. It is really up to you, okay? It depends on your own particular situation. But I will be very happy if you pick 1 or 2 and you say, "Hoy, gusto kong subukan ito. Tama itong perspective do." And I will even be happier, if when you adopt those perspectives, it will be beneficial for your careers. All right. So let's start from the first perspective, which is so basic, which is anyone can change for the better. Kasi we're talking here about perspectives and our desire to improve. And so it becomes a prerequisite for us to adopt that perspective na pwede po tayong magbago. We should never be defined, by our past, okay? Pwede kasi po tayong sumablay at one point in our career or one point in our lives, Hindi po dapat natin sabihin na dahil ako sumablay dati, sasablay ulit ako, in the future. Dapat burado na po yun, and that we start anew, we start from scratch again. And that should be our perspective, that we can always change for the better. Because the moment we say that we cannot change for the better, tapos na po ang usapan. Okay? Isara ko na po itong presentation na to, tapusin na natin yung hanggang perspective number 1 na lang kung hindi po tayo maniniwala na hindi po tayo pwedeng magbago at hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-improve. I learned that early po. In fact, not even in before my first job. Alam niyo po, I wasn't a good student. Let me rephrase that. I was a terribly bad student in college. Do you want proof? Here is my ultimate proof. My transcript of records. Now, if you're using a mobile phone at maliit ang screen ninyo, okay, ang tingnan na lang po ninyo ay yung mga naka-encircle ng red. Yung nakapaloob po dun sa red circles na yan ay 0.0. Ang ibig po sabihin yan sa grading system ng Lasal, ay bagsak. And if you count the number of circles, there are 7 circles. Meaning, I flunked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tama. Okay, 7 circles, which means I flunked 7 subjects of 3 units each. Alam niyo po ba na sa Lasal, if you garner 24 failing units in your entire college life, you will be kicked out by the school. So what am I saying? I was 3 units shy. 1 subject na lang po. Okay? 1 subject na lang, sisipain na ako ng Lasal. Alright? It was that bad. But kahit papano naman nautakan ko sila. Paano ko nautakan? Ayan po. Tingnan niyo po yung naka-highlight in yellow. Alright? Bago ako bumagsak, alam kong babagsak ako, alam kong sure ball na 0.0 ako, nagwi-withdraw ko. Kaya kita nyo, puro W yan. Okay? So, naisahan ko sila. Hindi nila po ako nasipa. Alright? Now, why am I telling you this? Again, it's all about perspective. Because at a certain point, I was a happy-go-lucky college student, by the way, baka kalimutan because I'm very, very proud of this. Baka kasi akala ninyo na, puro alam ko lang ibagsak yung mga courses ko. Meron po akong 4.0. Sa grading system po ng Lasal, ang 4.0 ay yung highest score. Perfect po yan, 4.0. May isang subject po ako kung di nyo nakikita dahil sobrang liit ng transcript. Ito po ay enlarged ko. Ayan. Gymnastics, physical education, 4 po ako dyan. Pinagmalaki ko yan sa mga magulang ko po. Okay. Yan lang po ang kwinatro ko sa buong college ko. Alright? Meron akong 2 subjects na 4 pero hindi sinama ng Lasal sa transcript eh. No? Yun yung billiards at saka beer. Oo. Kasi tumawid ka lang sa Lasal, no, napakadaming inuman. Tumawid ka lang sa kabila sa Estrada, no, napakadaming bilyaran. Alright? Okay. So, yan. Okay, talagang ano ako dyan. Good student ako dyan, no? Sa billiards and beer. Alright? Aside from that, yan po ang katunayan that I was a lousy student. This created serious problems for me. Okay, as you know, lalo-lalo na sa isang fresh grad, paano ka makakakuha ng trabaho kahit anong galing mo sa interview? Okay, pag nakita, pati nga ng transcript of records mo, syempre naman, ano yung batayan nila? I still didn't have a resume that enumerated my work experience. It will be the transcript of records, di ba? And how could I even pass the initial stages with the transcript of records? Pero kahit papaano, nagawan ko ng paraan. Unang-unang ginawa ko, sabi ko, wala na akong pag-asa. So I adopted a very negative mindset. I thought really I would be a good-for-nothing bum, all right? Maybe jobless for a couple of years, no? So, but you know, I just made one last try. Gumawa po ako ng 100 resume. 100 po. I'm not talking about email. I'm talking about physically typed in my Olympia manual typewriter. I bought half a ream of bond paper, no? 1 page lang naman yung resume ko din dahil fresh grad ako. I typed it one by one. Hindi ako gumamit ng carbon paper. Mahal pa Xerox noon. Carbon paper daw gumamit, no? Para talagang professional ang dating. Ewan ko kung merong nakakaalam ng carbon paper sa mga nakikinig, no? Okay, pan-duplicate kasi yun, pero ang pangit, no? So, and pinadala ko po to 100 different companies, no? And both by mail and yung iba, nilakad ko po ang Paseo de Rojas, ang Ayala, ang Amorsolo, iniiwan ko po sa gwardiya, no? And sabi ko, ang malas ko naman kung merong hindi tumawag sa akin. And lo and behold, meron nga. Pero isipin mo po, 1 out of 100 resumes na pinadala ko, 3 lang. 3 lang po. Alright? And I can still remember the names of those companies. The first one is Filipro. Filipro was the old name of Nestle Philippines, no? The big multinational consumer company, no? Ang pangalan ng kumpanya nila that is Filipro. The second one is siguro makilala ninyo, Eastern Telecoms, okay? Ang kaibigan kong Ray Elbo, yan, alam ko nagsimula diyan sa Eastern Telecom si Mr. Ray, okay? Okay. So nakakuha ako nakakuha po ako ng telegrama. Ang dati PTNT or RCPA, sabi nga, please report for testing and interview. Stop. Okay? 3 p.m. April 4, 1980, stop. Wear business attire, stop. End. Ganun kasi yung mga telegrama dati, pagkatapos ng bawat sentence may stop. Kasi yung word ng stop, kasi telegraphic transfer nga eh. No? So, punta ako, and long story short, no, naipasa ko yung interview sa Filipro. Alright? In fact, I think my feel was that they were pretty impressed, no? Ang problema ko, humingi na ng transcript of records, you know, as well as the other pre-employment requirements. So I stalled. Okay? Kasi sabi ko, siguradong sayang to. So I stalled. Ganun din, pumunta ako sa Eastern Telecom, siningan din ako. Pagkatapos ng interview, I think they were impressed. Nag-stall ako. Kasi, you know, I'm sure, ibabagsak nila ako. Hindi, baka deadmahin na ako niyan, no? 3 days later, I got another telegram from a Filipino, a family-owned Filipino corporation owned by the Puyats, no? You know, ang Buendia used to be called Senator Hill Puyat, so the Puyat family, no? And I got interviewed, no? The same thing, I was able to impress, no? Pero this time, sabi ko, I don't want to take any chances na bit-bit ko na yung aking pre-employment requirements including my transcript of records, no? And sabi ko, pag hiningi, ibibigay ko na, bahala na, no? Bahala na. And so, hiningi nga, no, right there and there in the interview, no, but it was after they said that they were interested in hiring me. Pero wala pang pinag-usapan na sweldo. Doon sa Filipro nga at saka Eastern Telecoms, may sweldo na nga, naalala ko eh. Sa Filipro, 1,150, no? Sa Eastern Telecoms, 1,100. Right? Hindi ko makalimutan yung ano. No? So anyway, no, doon sa Filipino-owned, yun. Nung hiningi, binigay ko yung transcript of records, and the person who was interviewing me, who became my boss eventually, no, just looked at my transcript easily for at least 30 seconds na walang sinasabi. And then he looked at me, he stared at me for another 30 seconds na walang sinasabi. Sabi ko, patay na. Okay. Patay na. Babalik na lang ako sa Pilipro at sa Bahala na at sa Eastern Telecoms. But, you know, something, by some stroke of luck, divine providence, what you may call it, I decided to speak out. Sabi ko, uunahan ko na to. And what I said was, sir, okay, if what you're thinking right now is that my performance should I be hired in your company, that my performance would be similar to my performance in college, I would like to tell you that, you know, I was young, I was immature, I was irresponsible when I was in college. I regret everything I did in college, but I want to start anew. So hire me, no, and I will prove you wrong if you are thinking that I will do the same thing I did in college here in our company. Right then and there, pinadiretso na ako doon sa, ang tawag dati, personnel manager yata, no? And binigyan na ako ng offer sheet, no? Okay. Pagkita ko sa offer sheet, okay, nakalagay 777 pesos. Hindi daily rate 'yon, ha? Monthly rate 'yon, okay? Sabi ko, parang nangangalahati lang doon sa Pilipro at sa Eastern Telecoms. Kaya lang sabi ko, may risk pa doon. Dito, tinatanggap na ako. Tinanggap ko na. And I stayed in my first job for 7 years. And that was the time when I realized na hindi pala pwedeng sayangin ng mga ganyang mga opportunities. I mean, my parents paid for my college education. Sinayang ko lahat. Nagbulakbul lang ako. No? And sabi ko, it will never happen again. Okay? And so, you know, I said, lahat ng tao, no, pwedeng magbago, and it should start with me. And that's exactly what I did. I stayed there, and sabi ko, nagplano na ako, no? Sabi ko, if ever I leave here, problema na naman yung transcript of records ko. So on my 4th year with the company, I decided to take my master's. So I enrolled, no? And I completed my master's in 3 years kasi part-time every so often lang after office, no? And ayun, ayos na. Never ko nang nilabas yung aking college transcript kasi ang hihingi naman dyan yung highest educational attainment. May MBA na ako. Ayan. That's how I got rid of my college transcript. Alright? Wala nang humingi niyan. No? So, pwede po magbago ang mga tao. No? You cannot be defined by your past because every human being has the capability to bounce back kung talagang gusto po ninyo. Okay. Perspective number 2, only battle scars prove you went to battle. Napaka-significant po nito, especially, I've read a lot in PHRG about people who are unwilling to go through difficulties in their career. I'm so saddened when I hear, believe it or not, may mga nag-PM po sa akin, in the last month or so, may 3 nag-PM sa akin. Believe it or not, 1 day po sa kumpanya, quit. I mean, how could you even get enough information about your company, the job you're gonna do, your colleagues in 1 day? I mean, very illogical po sa akin. And when you adopt this kind of perspective, you will know that parang bakal po yan, no? You can only strengthen iron pag pinainit po ninyo. All right? Kapag veterano po kayo sa gera, no? At lumabas po kayo sa gera na walang tama ng bala, walang tama ng shrapnel, ng granada, parang hindi po kayo veterano. Okay? And so it is so important to me to gather all of those battle scars, because those battle scars will not be reflected in my body, but will be reflected in my resume for future use for my own benefit. Maybe that is something that people today do not see. Yes, I respect, what they call this, mental health thing, but if you see what I did during my career, ang tingin ko, masisiraan po kayo ng bait. But look at me now, okay naman ako, okay? Hindi naman nasira yung ulo ko, no? But as you'll see later on, no, I've handled a lot of really tough jobs that earned me my battle scars, no? So my perspective was always accept additional responsibilities, no? Wala po kung inaccept na additional responsibility na merong immediate compensation. Wala po. Okay? And you know why, no? Kasi nung nasa isang company ako, no, after my first job, lumipit ako sa isang company. And in that company, unfortunately, mayroong something very chaotic that happened. Nag-resign po lahat ang senior management. Okay? As in, natira po, no, akong naging pinakamataas, and I was just a supervisory level. And the president talked to me and said, Jun, hold the fort. And I had a very wrong mindset then. Ang perspective ko is, hello, no? Magkano, di ba? Kasi ang umalis vice president, supervisor lang ako. Makukuha ko ba kahit kalahati ng sweldo niya? Of course, I didn't say that to the president, but that was what was planted in my mind. A very wrong perspective. I realized that much later on, no? And so, you know what I did, no? Because the boss insisted, no? I resigned. Okay? Iniwasan ko, no? If you can't avoid it, mag-resign ka, di ba? Total naman, ang feeling ko, magaling naman ako. Makakuha ako na ibang trabaho, walang problema yan. So, I resigned. Okay? And, little did I know, and this I knew much later on, that I could have been, the next head of that department. Okay? Nasayang po. Sabi ko kanina, ang dami ko pong talagang opportunity losses sa career because of those mindsets, those perspectives, the wrong perspectives that I adopted. But later on, I started to open my mind, accept additional responsibilities. Nung ako po'y napunta sa Caltex Philippines, no, one time, nakasama ko po, tsamba, yung presidente ng Caltex sa kantin. Umupo sa tabi ko, no, and he said, hindi pa ako kilala. Sabi, you're the guy from HR. Yes, sir. Sabi ko, I'm June Mendoza. Yeah. I'm going to speak for an HR group called PMAP. Okay, yung dating Personnel Management Association of the Philippines, na ngayon ay People Management Association. It is the largest, HR-related association, no? And sinauna pa, meron PMAP. And, this was 1988, no? And sabi sa akin, could you make the speech for me? Because you are in HR. Oh, wow, sabi ko, no? Since natauhan na ako dati, no, na hindi ko tinanggap yung additional responsibilities at that time, just holding the fort for my previous company, sabi ko, sige, bahala na. And I tell you, it was a rough patch. Why? Because presidente siya . Ako, assistant manager pa lang ako noon. So, hindi ko alam ang lengguwahe ng senior executive. Wow, ilang beses akong pinagalitan, imbis akong parang nagmukha akong tanga. Kasi yung mga salita na Jun, hindi mo ginagamit dapat to. Ako ang presidente ng kumpanya. This is very unpresidentiable. But I didn't know that. All right? And he wouldn't tell me what is presidentiable. All right? So, balik ako. Go back to the drawing board, babalik-balik. And finally, no, buti na lang I was given enough time at malayo pa yung kanyang speech, no. Sabi niya, June, well done, no. Accompany me to the PMAP conference. Daming tao kasi parang PMAP general meeting first time ko naka-attend ng ganung kadami, no. And he said, just stay there, no. Give me tips, whatever last minute tips, I'll appreciate it. And this is the president of one of the top 10 companies in the country, and I have been so grateful to the people of Caltex. No, they taught me so many things. My former boss, the HR head, no, ang dami ko pong tinanggap diyan na additional responsibilities without immediate pay. Pero it all boiled down to the pay came later, the compensation came later. All I wanted to do was to prove myself because I realized that I could do more, much more, no, than my job as an assistant manager in HR doing training. Eventually hinandle ko na rin pati recruitment, no. Wala pong additional pay yan, no. Pero in a way the pay came also because on my third year pinadala na po ako abroad for training. Okay? Pinadala na po ako sa Bangkok. And later on my fourth year pinadala na po ako sa USA. Naku alam niyo po sa mga multinational, pag pinadala ka abroad, napakalaki po ng per diem mo. Okay? Hindi mo magagastos ng isang buwan ang per diem mo kung papupuntahin ka ng 3 araw, no, sa US, no. Ang dami kong excess money, hindi na po sinusoli 'yon. All right? Bulsa mo na 'yon, no? And legal lahat 'yon. It's yours because it's a per diem, all right? They gave me my first free car, and sa totoo lang, no, and ito po ang nag-jack up siguro ng sweldo ko eventually because I was getting something like 24% salary increase every year, no? And the most memorable of it po is when my youngest daughter was born, because Caltex shouldered for the entire maternity cost po except for 5,000 pesos. Binook po nila ako sa isang hospital sa pinakamahal na suite, as in may adjacent po na receiving room para sa mga, nag-inuman pa kami ng barkada ko ulit doon sa receiving room. Cesarean po ang aking, and we've been wanting to have a baby because my 2 daughters are 9 years apart. Kaya Caltex baby po ang aking youngest daughter. 5,000 po ang ginastos ko. No? Pati bulaklak po sa loob ng kwarto ng misis ko, sagot po ng Caltex. They are so generous po. And if I stayed there for 25 years, on my 25th year, I will get a Rolex watch. But I left after 5 years. And you will know why later on. Okay. So I had a very insatiable thirst for new knowledge and skills. That's why I accepted job responsibilities. I wanted to be more equipped than others. Kasi sa akin, competitive edge yan . If I can do more, no, people will know it, lamang ako sa iba, then I get the first shot at any kind of career opportunity. Promotion, salary increase, bonuses, etc. And kapag umalis po ako, I can enhance my market value. Okay? Kasi, and I experienced this, no? Later on, no, nung ako ay nasa kung saan ako nag-retire sa China Trust, sa CTBC Bank, no, napapawaw lahat po nag-i-interview sa akin. And I'll admit it, no, kasi in my 10 years, I went also I entertained the, headhunters and people who were asking for me, no, a couple of times, no. And when they were asking me, you're HR head, but your resume says that you built the branches, you built X number of branches of the bank. Yes. What do you mean by build? Would you want me to lecture you on how to pour cement when you install the bolt in the branch? Okay, that's what I did. No? Would you want me to tell you the mechanics, the technical mechanics of installing a precision aircon for the IT data center? That's what I did. I also handled purchasing. I also handled, all the janitorial, messengerial, and the carpool of the bank. All right. So alam ko po, napapawaw po kasi lamang na lamang ako sa ibang HR head. And therefore, yung mga headhunter, tuwan-tuwa kasi bibigay kaagad nila, this guy, hindi lang HR ang kaya. Expand mo yung responsibilities niya. And of course, there is higher pay in that. Alright. 5 of my toughest jobs that really, I felt, gave me my battle scars. In year 2000, a labor strike, 700 people walked out of their jobs in the bank where I was. We were able to convince almost all except 129. I terminated 129 union members in one sweep, including the entire leadership of the union. I think it is one of the rarest situations where a company management dissolved a union. I was HR head po dyan. And what is memorable is that in Solid Bank, no, I got promoted to HR head on March 1, year 2000, and the labor strike was April 3, 2000. Barely a month after I got promoted, it was my baptism of fire. Dinugo po ako dyan. Nag 210 over 100 po ang aking blood pressure. Okay? 3 linggo po yung strike. Okay? And then, right after the strike came the merger acquisition, and I became part of the merger integration team together with the president of each company, the president of Solid Bank and the president of Metro Bank, the CFO, me, all right, and the chief auditor. Apat po kami in both banks that designed the mechanics of the merger, everything, including separation pay, the benefits, the harmonization of the benefits, etc. And madugo din po yan, napakadugo po niyan. In 2003, I was HR head of RCBC Bank when 4 employees were killed. Yeah, in a hold-up situation. They were delivering 10,000 pesos in coins to Chowking in Santa Rosa when their bank car was hinarang, was held up, and the robbers did not announce the hold-up. Okay, 2 of them went to the right side of the car, 2 of them went to the left side of the car, and pinulbusan po sila ng bala ng Armalite. Patay po ang 4. I handled that bank hold-up situation. I went to the employees. One of them was a security guard, so we had to ship the body to Butuan, if I'm not mistaken. I went to the very young wife of the roving teller and was talking to her about the death of her husband while she was carrying her 8-month-old baby. Okay. Akala ko po papatayin ako kasi compound kinuyog na ako lahat ng mga kamag-anak Of course, wala akong kasalanan, but I was representing the bank, and they were asking for the relatives actually were asking for the moon and the stars, and okay naman, I was supported by RCBC in terms of the financial that binigay po namin lahat. But those are some things that you really don't want to experience in your career. But on second thought, when I look back, I feel that I would be incomplete as an HR head if I did not go through that experience. In 2005, I joined a small company, all right? So from the big league, mga malalaking bangko, mga multinational, I went to a small 200-seater BPO, that did not remit all government contributions and BIR taxes po from the start of its operation 2 years ago. Inayos ko po lahat yan, and you cannot imagine, all right, how you're gonna deal with the government officials, Kasi nakakatakot po. Kasi ang unang meeting ko po sa SSS, sinampahan po ko ng ganyang kakapal na papeles, yun na po yung demanda sa amin. It's a criminal offense, all right? Ako yung nakaupong HR head, Then you go to Pag-ibig separately, then you go to PhilHealth separately, and hindi po biro, 43 million in arrears po. I negotiated with each of the agencies to grant us a 1-year easy payment plan. Now, on top of the current contributions, we will pay the arrears. And we were able to do that. And aside from that, is pang mahirap, I had to talk to all employees because, habang inaayos namin yon for 1 year, hindi sila pwedeng mag-loan ng SSS. Wala silang salary loan, etc. Kasi may arrears pa kami. So, pasensya na kayo, pero itong pangako ko. And I did not leave the company until nag-full payment po on the 12th month. By the 12th month, I left and I joined IBM, the bigger league. Pero naayos ko po yun before I left. And in 2009, I joined the company, the bank where I retired, and my first KRA, was to lay off 20% of the workforce, all right? In a situation where the bank, after 14 years, never laid off one person, I would start laying off. And I was the new HR head. And to top it all, there was a new foreigner president. All right. So it's very, very sensitive, no? And we had to, really strategize. I planned on my people strategy, no? And awa ng Diyos po, no? And that's because the company we were not losing money, but the profits were so low. We were coming from 500 million in profit, biglang naging 100 million. So that's pretty steep, no? A decline. So nagalit ang headquarters Taiwan, all right? Sinabi, address it. And there's no other way to address it but to lay off people. Because as you know, I think it was Ma'am Tina who mentioned earlier about labor cost, no? Ang labor cost ko, pinakamalaking operating expense ng kahit anong company. Right? Perspective number 3, mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. It's in quote because it is a quote by a certain Adam Smith. And this basically talks about, your objectiveness in when you are an HR practitioner, no? And when you say objective, I have learned, no, na without feelings. And I've learned the hard way kasi, no, nung ako po ay naging assistant vice president na, no, more and more naging involved ako sa mga termination of employees. And in the bank, no, hindi po pwede po yung merong integrity issue. Talagang ite-terminate ka po, no? So something as simple for other organizations like falsifying your application form, termination po yan, no? Because it is a dishonest act, no? And banks, the business of banking is based on trust. So without no. But you see, so long story short, meron po nag-falsify, nagmamakaawa po sa akin, and to my surprise, no, umiyak po, lalaki po to, umiyak, nag-falsify siya ng document niya. Okay? At lumuhod po sa akin. At alam po sinabi nung lumuhod siya, sabi niya, please do not terminate me. My wife gave birth 1 week ago and the baby is blind. Right? In the banks, when you are given a position of authority, pananagutan mo talaga. So, if I wanted to, I had the full authority to pardon him and just continue his employment or even to allow him to resign. But the policy was very clear. Integrity issue, hindi po pwede po. Kailangan talagang termination of employment niya. So I stood fast, but I thought about it. I really had to think twice, think thrice kasi let's face it, naawa po ko. Kasi meron din akong 3-year-old na daughter at that time, no? I knew how the person felt as a father, no? But I said, hindi. Right? Hindi. I finished talking to him about 4 o'clock. Hindi ko na inintay yung 5:30. Sumibat ako, nagsara ako ng pinto, umiyak po ako, no? Diretso po ako dito sa village namin, diretso po ako sa simbahan. I talked to our parish priest. Okay? And, nawala. Hello? I lost the PowerPoint. Sorry, can someone help me here? How do you...
Sir Jun, okay pa po. Kita pa po yung PowerPoint mo.
I'm sorry? Okay. All right. Sige. I thought I lost it. Okay. So, when I went to the parish priest, sabi niya, ito lang mga tinanong niya. What is your job? Sinabi ko, I'm with HR. Does that job require you to terminate employees when needed? Yes. Did you follow all the rules, the policies without violating a single one? Yes, including the law. I followed every aspect of it. Were you fair in your decision to terminate the employee? Of course. Did you communicate your decision with utmost respect? Definitely. Ang sagot po ng pari sa akin, anong problema mo? Relax ka lang. Okay? Ginawa mo lang yung trabaho, wala kang ginawang masama. Alright? And again, imagine if I had given him the opportunity to continue. Ang career ko mismo ang masisira. But I was so close to that, no? And so very important dito yung perspective na yon, no? Na talagang we be very objective with what we do. Mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent, because the world is watching. Importante po as an HR practitioner that we are fair, we are consistent, okay? And in the organization, violators are expected to be punished. Hindi po pwedeng hindi pinapunish. Kung hindi, para saan pa yung rules? Mawawalan po ng ngipin ang ating mga policy. Punishment can also be a deterrent, kasi nakikita na people are punished, then hindi tutulad, no, doon sa violator yung mga ibang employees, no? So our standard rule, magnanimity in competency cases, but no compromise in integrity dishonesty cases. So kung ang problema ay yung kanyang performance appraisal, walang problema, no, kung magre-resign siya, pwede siyang payagan. Pero pag dishonesty, disintegrity, in my career in banking po, I have terminated a teller for stealing 90 pesos from her cash box, as I have also terminated a branch manager for stealing 70 million po by using bogus loans. So ganun po yung spread, okay, ng monetary amount, no? And this one, no, by this time, no, matibay na po ang puso ko. Hindi na po ako umiiyak, no? So this is a branch manager who committed forgery and staff on 45 counts, no? And tinuluyan po namin yan, no? Sinampahan namin ng criminal case, and he was sentenced for 1,228 years, as if naman mabubuhay siya ng 228 years. Ayun pa kayang 1,228. So hindi yan habang buhay, no? Hanggang patay ang gulong diyan. Alright. Perspective number 4, don't get mad, but don't get even either. Alright? Kasi, pag nagalit ka, and this was a very wrong perspective that I adopted. Galit kasi po ako sa magnanakaw, no? And sa dinami-dami po ng tinerminate ko that committed fraud, inis na inis ako, kasi laging iniisip ko, kung ako to, ginawa ko ba to? Hindi, definitely. Bakit ko naman idadamay ang pamilya ko, no? Etong taong to talagang walang pakialam, no? Nagnakaw siya na parang very brazen act, no? And especially in labor relations, no? Sa mga union, adversarial yan, inherent component po yan, kasi it's labor and management, di ba? So there will be a constant taunting as a mind game, and so you should summon all your courage as an HR practitioner when you deal with these things, no? Passion is not equal to anger. Hindi mo pwede sabihin na galit ako kasi I was so passionate about the issue. Pero ganun ang perspective ko dati, no? Wag mo ko i-misinterpret na galit ako, no? Passionate lang ako sa ginagawa ko, hindi po, no? Kasi talagang pag meron po nagnakaw sa amin at ako po yung nagsuserve ng termination memo, ay nako, asahan niyo po, no? Saksakan ng bigat ang mga panlalait ko do sa tao. And it was so much that I was branded, and ito umabot po hanggang presidente, I was branded as the hoodlum in Barong. Right? The hoodlum in Barong. Okay. So remember, technical fouls, kumbaga basketball, technical fouls earn free throws para sa kalaban. Flagrant fouls get you thrown out. And this is also one of the reasons why in my career, I received 51 death threats. Inipon po lahat yun, nasa filing cabinet, kaso kami po ay ondoy victim. So marami dun sa mga, these are just the physical death threats. Wala pa yung mga text messages, yung mga tatawag sa akin sa umaga na, hello, sino to? Who's this? Hindi sumasagot. Tapos biglang sasagot siya na, this is somebody who wants you dead. Wala pa yon, no? Mga hindi ko pwedeng ipunin yun, no? So these are yung mga tipong black barong na merong note na pamburol mo bukas, no? O kaya yung mga threats na alam namin kung anong oras sinusundo yung anak mo, ito yung plate number ng school bus, alagaan mo siya, no? Or yung mga tipong ewan ko lang kung di kayo matakot na meron kayong stationery ng Communist Party of the Philippines na nakalagay doon, hinahatulang ka ng kamatayan ng kataas-taasang hukuman ng Communist Party of the Philippines sa iyong pag-api sa mga empleyado. Meron po akong ganun. Okay? So, that's because I changed my perspective, no. And after that, no, sa totoo lang po, yung mga na-dismiss ko, no, kahit papaano napagaan ko ang loob, and many of them, are still friends, okay, up to now. Pero dati nung bagito pa ako, ay nako, talagang siguro kung meron lang nag-snap doon, baka sinaksak ako o binaril ako sa ulo, no, sa mga sinasabi ko sa kanila pag tina-terminate ko. So again, no, balik tayo sa perspective number 1, anyone can change, no. Number 5, no, build bridges, don't burn them. This is self-explanatory, but even if it's self-explanatory, ang dami pong gumagawa nito, and I tell you, this is a mistake in your perspective. Ako, I never burned bridges. So, kahit papaano, wala po akong ginawa dito. Lahat po ng boss ko since the start, kahit ano pong lait sa akin, magkaibigan po kami niyan. Because, bilog ang bola. You don't know. You don't know that if you're applying to a company which is the company of your dreams, hindi mo alam baka pagpasok doon, ang presidente pala yung nilait-lait mong boss dati. That is very possible, and it has happened to many of the colleagues in that I work with. Okay, not burning bridges becomes, you become more effective with the people so that they would respect you. Okay, and you don't want to be perpetually watching your back. Diba? Inhirap ng may kaaway, diba? You also become skilled in human behavior, diba? Kasi nakakapagtimpi ka, no, kahit na medyo alam mo kung paano umiwas at alam mo kung paano sumagot ng matino, no. Sabi ko nga, pag may sinabi sa yung boss mo na masama, kailangan pahiyain siya. Pero hindi ikaw ang magpapahiya. Magbibitaw ka ng salita na mahihiya siya sa sarili niya. That's a totally different topic, no, in acquiring that kind of skill. And I like this concept very much of Stephen Covey, yung emotional bank account, no? Kasi pwede mo siyang utangan at pwede ka ring utangan niya, no? So, never burn your resignation letter, okay? Ang dami pang gumagawa, meron pa nagpo-post, nakita ko to, pinulot ko lang sa internet to, no? Tuwan-tuwa yung mga tao, no, na merong netizen na nag-post ng kanyang resignation letter. This was some years ago. Hindi niya tinanggal yung kanyang pangalan, no, nung pinost niya sa Facebook niya. Tingnan mo naman, I am writing this today to notify you that I will be resigning effective immediately. Hindi pa binibigay ng 30-day notice. I have enjoyed my time naman here, kaso toxic kayo. Language barrier, walang bayad overtime, masungit yung utility at walang bidet sa CR. Okay, tingnan mo naman, okay, wala na yan, blacklisted na yan, no? I doubt it if that guy was ever employed after he posted his resignation letter. So I've had a boss that was very tough, no? He's regarded as one of the most seasoned bankers in the industry. His name is Deogracias Vistano, Sonny, as we call him. And wow, he was really tough on me when, many years back in the 1990s. I was pleasantly surprised last year when he called me and he interviewed me about my insights in HR, no? And the more pleasant surprise was when I received in the mail one day a book, all right? A book, sumusulat pala siya ng libro. Kaya pala niya ako ini-interview. And I got, to be in the acknowledgement portion at the first page of the book, no? It's such an honor, no, to be giving an input to somebody. Google the name or ask any banker friend of you, no, siguradong kilala yan si Sunny Pistan, no. So it's really there is wisdom po in maintaining good relations and not burning bridges at all. All right. And the last, di pa pala last to, okay? Perspective number 6, all right? Yes, there is money in HR. Meron kasi nag-post nung isang araw na sinabi na ano yung mga myths, okay, sa HR. And daming sabing there is no money in HR. I disagree po. All right? And let me give you an analysis why some people think this way. You see, there are 1,080 companies, 1.08 million companies in the Philippines, no? And out of that, yung tinatawag na MSME sector or yung micro, small, medium enterprises sector comprise the vast majority, in fact 99.58% Okay? At pag tiningnan nyo po yung mga micro, ayan po, no? Imagine, no? Yung assets nila below 3 million, ang employees nila below 10. Okay? So isipin mo, no, napakaliit na mga companies, no? And they comprise, 90% of the MSME sector. And then it's followed by the small industries, no, that comprise 8.63%. And tingnan nyo naman, no, ang liit ang assets, below 15 million ang assets. And then you have the medium size, no, na 100 million ang assets, and the number of employees, no, is less than 250, no. At tingnan nyo po, no, balik ako doon sa sinabi ni Ma'am Tina kanina, yung ating labor cost, no. Imagine, ipagpalagay natin na yung sa micro enterprises ay may 9 na empleyado, all at minimum wage. Alam niyo po ba kung magkano ang gastos sa labor cost annually? It's 1.7 million. O tingnan niyo po, kumpara niyo sa assets, hindi ba halos lampas kalahati na ng assets yon ng kumpanya? Yung payroll pa lang yan, di ba? Paano pa yung gastos sa kuryente, sa rental sa building, di ba? Sa toilet paper, etc. And the small and medium industries, no, pagpalagay natin na yung manpower dito sa small and medium industries ay igitna na natin, no? Less than 50, di ba? Mga 30, all right? Pag 30, multiply nyo po by 570. Multiply nyo by 13 months, no? Tapos i-multiply po ninyo by 13 months, makukuha nyo po 5.8 million. And it's so close to 15 million, which is the total assets already of the company. And ganun din po sa medium industries, no? But ayaw. Mana. Did I hang? I can't move my slides. Hello? Hello? Am I still live?
Yes, sir. You're still live. No problem.
Okay.
There's no hanging.
Okay. I couldn't move the next.
You have to click, sir.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. All right. So can everybody see the 28.9 million? Right. So that's your payroll if you have something like 150 employees all on minimum wage, no? Is 28.9 million, almost 29 million. And look at your assets. It's less than 100 million. On the other hand, no, take a look at the large corporations. Okay? Ang bigat talaga, no? And they only comprise 0.42. There are only 4,500 large corporations in the Philippines. Ikumpara niyo yun doon sa micro. So talagang napaka-konti, no? And and if you take a look at the 30 largest corporations, tingnan niyo po ang asset size ng 30 pinakamalalaking kumpanya in terms of asset. 5.2 billion in assets. B po, hindi million. O teka muna, no? But wait, okay? Hindi po natin pa nilalagay yan. Dollar sign dyan. Alright? $5.2 billion in assets. Convert that at 55.5, you have 288 billion in assets of the first 30 top corporations of the country. So, how can we say po, and remember, no, the large corporations account for about 30% of employment. Mas kukonte because the 70% are in the MSME. And so my conclusion here is that, why do some think that there's no money in the HR profession? Because they haven't had the opportunity to work for a company where they could make good money. And very well so kasi the bulk of the companies are really MSME sector who may have affordability issues. All right? So, yun, no? Para bang kakain ka ng steak, no? Tapos may magsasabi, alam mo, kinain kong steak, 5,000. Oo, wala namang steak na 5,000. Hindi ako naniniwala sa'yo. There is. So, when we say that, wala namang pera sa HR profession, kasi hindi ka pa nakatikim na ma-employ sa isang kumpanya that will really pay honest to goodness money. And it's not just the HR profession, it's for all the professions. But in no way na nilalait ko po ang MSME sector because, in fact, the MSME sector is the main driver now of our economy. All right? But what I'm trying to say, and I also work for small, medium-sized companies. After I work for big companies, bumalik din po ako sa mga SME companies, no? So what we're saying here is that everybody should have that perspective, no, na yes, there is money in HR. Meron po, maniwala po kayo, no? Ang pinakamababa pong HR staff sa pinanggalingan kong bangko po, no, definitely hindi po siya minimum wage. I would say it's about 15-20% higher than minimum wage, no. Pero cuidado ka po, no. Ang kanyang HMO po, ang family coverage niya 1,000,000. All right? And that's the lowest rank and file staff po in my HR team. Kasi ang coverage niya is about 330,000 per illness per year. Meron pa siyang spouse, meron pa siyang child. So halos 1,000,000 ang coverage niya, no. So and he is being paid 15 months guaranteed salary. Come rain, come shine, 15 months po ang ibabayad sa kanya. Guaranteed po yun, nasa kontrata niya. So, meron po, okay? Let us not have this mindset that, HR, yes, it is a vocation. But it is not just an vocation. We are in business, no? It is an occupation. We deserve that money too. After all, HR is a difficult profession. And lastly, if you want to go to the big companies, no, especially if you want to work and get good pay, you gotta always sharpen the saw. All right? Kasi hindi po pwede na pipitsugin ka, no? Always sharpen the saw. Read. Unfortunately, looks like it's being a lost art. People no longer read, okay? Listen even if you don't agree, kasi makakakuha ka ng insights and you will learn how to counter that in a way that will be productive na hindi magiging adversarial. Okay. Kalokohan po yung sabi na it is unnationalistic na kapag nag-i-English tayo. Yung isa sa pinakamalaking kalokohan na nadinig ko. English is not just the language of the USA. English is not just the language of the UK. It is an international language. It is the language of business po, no? So kawawa naman po ang Pilipino, no? Imagine if we cannot talk English. Ang Koreano po, no? There are so many call centers now who teach English to young Koreans, no? Online, no? It will just be a matter of time that the foreigners will take over here, no? Tayo pong hindi marunong ng English, I tell you, all right? We will succumb, magiging boss natin lahat yan. Now, that's nationalistic if you ask me. Write something meaningful. Magsulat po kayo. Kahit nakapanood kayo ng sine, telenovela, isulat po niyo yung 2 pages. I-summarize nyo kasi mapapractice po kayo magsulat. I want to, when I read posts in PHRG, oh my gosh, talagang I have to read them twice or thrice before I can really fully comprehend. Kasi hirap na hirap po ako eh. And I tell you, it's not age. It's because, hindi talaga sequential yung pagkakwento, malabo talaga, So, practicein niyo po yan, Write something meaningful and of course, stay healthy, especially now, hindi pa po tapos ang pandemic na yan, So, those are my top 7 perspectives that help me and hopefully they will also help you. As I said earlier, I'd be very happy if you can, adapt 1 or 2, so much happier if you, adapt all 7, because I think these are the perspectives that you need to gain, if you really would like to, go up in your career as an HR practitioner. But always remember, renewal is not just enough. Lagi tayo New Year's resolution na gusto natin pumayat, gusto natin mag-exercise, etc. But it is all about commitment po. All right? So we need to commit, and it starts with having the right perspective, but we need to commit to that. And that commitment must start now. So I'll flash this again to remind you, let's make the organization a better workplace for everyone. So that completes my presentation. I'd just like to invite you to our first run of Judgment Call on January 18 and 19. no, from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Don't worry, we will post this. No, go ahead and like us, follow us on Alpine. That's the Facebook page of Alpine will come up with the announcement. No? So maraming salamat po sa inyo. No, I don't know if I went on overtime or what. It's 5:41. Okay. So marami pong salamat sa inyo.
Sir, may we keep the last slide to the talk that you have? So at least while we're doing the Q&A, people might want to screenshot and they might
Okay.
want
Which one?
to register. This
Correct.
one, sir.
Oh,
Yung
okay.
judgment call.
Yeah.
Kasi I hope that more people, but I think that newbie HR should take this. It's very basic, but I'm
Yes.
surprised that the most basic, yung due process, the notice rule, hindi po ginagawa ng karamihan ng HRs. Anyway, sir,
Well,
let me start, sir, with the first question. So we're now open the comment for questions to Sir June. Take advantage of this opportunity to ask him some questions. I'll start first with one. It's always been said, sir, na parang syempre, the elders, the more wise, are always complaining about the mga kabataan. Diba? And you've gone through several decades of HR experience. You were kabataan before. Diba? And then you became a middle manager, and then you became a senior manager, then you retired, you became a consultant. In hindsight, sir, do you think it is a generational thing that a lot
no.
of employers are complaining about employees nowadays na nag-graduate nga pero parang hindi sila ganun ka-equipped? Do you think, is it too simple to say it's a generational problem, or is it more of an individual problem?
I don't believe in the so-called generation gap. Maybe again, drawing from my experience.
Yes, correct.
I
Working for
married
many companies.
I married at age 22. All right. When I told you that I got my job, my first job. Okay. Even before I started my first job, we got married. All right.
Mm.
So my advantage is that I have my first daughter, my eldest daughter. Sabay kaming lumaki. All right.
Mm.
And I understand the youth because I also
Mm.
was young once, and I have
Mm.
worked with many young professionals
Yes. Mm.
who are exceptionally brilliant. I tell you, so brilliant
Mm.
that when I moved and I got pirated by companies, they were part of my package deal. All right.
Mm. Mm.
From IBM, I recruited somebody who was 26 years old. I made him a manager in CTBC Bank. All right.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
hindi ako naniniwala sa generation gap. It is your
Mm.
ability to handle and to spot who will really reach the top. Okay?
Mm.
Kasi,
Tama.
ang dami ko rin kilalang mga matatanda na, you know, masahol
Na
pa.
parang,
Yeah, I mean that's what I did in so many organizations. No, I wiped them out. No, yung mga unproductive na petics na lang. No, I implemented something like 12 early retirements in the banking industry. And when I retired people by the hundreds, at 200, 300. No, and yung talagang no, and meron namang magagaling na mga may edad. No, but meron ding mga ang tawag
hindi
doon,
ganon. Hindi
lags na
ganon.
talaga. Oo. It's not in the age. It's not in the age, no? May pasaway na bata, meron din pasaway na matanda.
Maraming ganon. Sir, pag ganon, what is it that you're looking for, diba? And syempre, what is it that people can also aspire para maging excellent? Because it seems to be a hit and miss diba? Alam ko parang for me, you can see it If you see it, you know, magaling tong tao na to. Pero how do you parang conceptualize it talaga na ano ba yung kailangan mangyari to be a very in-demand employee in any company that you work for?
Well, sa akin, alam ko meron kasabihan na work smart, not work hard, no? Sa akin, pareho no? And I think it even starts with work hard, all right? And that's, I guess, the reason why I accepted so many responsibilities, no? Because yun ang learning I never, after namulat ang mata ko, hindi na ako yung tipong, bakit hindi ako dadagdagan ng sweldo o bakit hindi ako po-promote? Kasi, it is and yung uso ngayon yung quiet quitting. Nag-quiet quitting pa na ako dati, all right? Hindi pa uso yung term na yan in the 80s, no? But I also got to realize mali yung perspective na yon. Kasi if I continue doing my best, uh, I can move to another organization, di ba? And I will be more equipped. Kaysa yung gagawin ko lang kung ano dapat, how can hangga't hindi ako nakakakita ng susunod kong company, no? And as you can see, I work for 10 companies. Deliberate career strategy ko 'yan. Kasi everybody, pag namimirmi ka sa isang company ng medyo matagal, no, the new hires, they will overtake your salary because you cannot automatically adjust your salary ranges, no, to cope with market. Hindi nyo kaagad magagawa yan because affordability yan eh. Kaya ang strategy ko, move from one organization to the other, but in every organization, kailangan I learn as much as I can. So,
Gandang
yun
strategy yun.
Yeah. But there are also those that, stay in one company for so long. My youngest is in IBM, all right? And she's turning 12 years, all right? With IBM, okay?
Yeah.
Kanya-kanya strategy, di ba? But
Sir
Mataas
Jun,
ang sahod. Mataas ang sahod ng HR. Sobrang, I mean, a lot of people, diba, we see people complaining bakit 12 to 15,000, 18,000. Pero to be honest, the really excellent ones get few hundreds of thousands and even millions. Because
nung
it
nag-retire,
matters. Yeah.
yeah. Well, yung HR head, nung nag-retire ako, baka malula kayo kasi meron ako mga dito pumapalo ng 800 to 900,000 a month. Kasi when I retired, I interviewed my probable replacements. But eventually, we decided to promote from within. So,
Tama po yun.
even in the lower levels, no? Kaya nga, sabi ko, pag nasa large corporations, kasi intindihin niyo parang pamilya din yan. Don't expect your parents, kung purang parents mo, na mag-Ferragamo na sapatos, nabigyan ka ng Ferragamo na sapatos. Hindi kaya yan, di ba? So logically, if you are in an organization that is smaller and has smaller resources, no, talagang hindi lang ikaw ang lowly paid siguro. Lahat kayo lowly paid, di ba? So, unless talagang, in family-owned corporations na paborito ka, ikaw lang ang tumataas ang sweldo, but piling-pili kayo, di ba?
Sir Jun, I have a question. A lot of our members are coming from the small and medium enterprises. Right. These are HR supervisors, HR managers, and they are competing with large corporations in terms of talents, in terms of making sure that they get the best in the market. What can you recommend to our HR folks who are working at small and medium enterprises, who are competing with companies na napakalalim ng bulsa pagdating sa sweldo, pagdating sa benefits, pagdating sa mga pwedeng i-offer sa mga employees? How can we compete?
Sorry, Coach Aaron. You're referring to the company itself, not the employees. How a medium-sized company can compete with the biggies.
Correct.
Yes, correct, sir. In terms of compensation and benefits.
You cannot. Kasi yun nga, kaya nga pinano ko yung slide na you cannot compete in terms of, you will have to find out what your competitive edge is, no? And it will definitely not be salary and benefits, because how can you compete with somebody who's giving a 17, 18-month guaranteed year, which, a lot of multinationals and big banks do, all right? Sa Caltex, assistant manager lang ako, pakotse na ako, libre, as in 100% free. How can you compete with that, no? But you must have a different competitive edge, all right? And it could be, the culture. It could be, something else that is not monetary, that, the people would value, no? And usually it is the culture, no? But do not expect that people will also stay, because people also have ambitions, and especially the younger ones who need to feed their families, diba? There will always come a tipping point when they will leave. But you see, yun nga pag small company ka, the goal is always to become bigger, di ba?
Mm,
So
mm,
I worked for organizations that were initially small, lumaki sila, and they became also big corporations, no?
mm.
So uh, you cannot compete monetary wise. You cannot compete. It's got to be something else that you select, no? Because even in the banks, I wasn't part of the top 5 banks, di ba?
Yeah,
But I
that's true.
had I had to. I
Very
mean,
good benefits for China Trust,
CBC
no?
Bank, 15 months lang kami guaranteed, di ba?
Mm.
Paano yung mga 16 months like RCBC? Paano yung mga 17 months like Metrobank? Oh,
Tetrabank.
oo. Pero may napapirate ako from those companies, from those banks, di ba? So,
Mm.
dyan pumapasok talaga yung HR. Okay? First
Selling skills ng HR.
first line of offense kasi ang HR, no?
Mm.
Correct.
So, you come into contact with these brilliant people, dapat magaling yung HR because you are the mirror of the entire. Pag hindi bilib yung nag-a-apply, ba't naman ako pupunta sa inyo? Mas mataas na kayo yung sweldo ko and so and so. Pero pag bumilib sila doon sa HR, there might be some chance that they will look. Kasi, iba-iba ang mga goals ng mga tao, di ba? Uh,
Mm.
I've I've recruited people who are no longer that interested with the money. I've recruited young
Yes.
people who had some foresight na sweldo okay lang maliit pero yung benefits kailangan hanep,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Kanya-kanyang gusto no? At may mga
Mm.
iba naman na aanhin ko yung napakalaking insurance policy.
Benefits. Mm.
Oo,
Hindi pa naman ako
25 years ako,
mamamatay.
no? Mamatay, alright? Okay.
Mm.
Pero nakakita din naman, naka-recruit din ako ng somebody who experienced death in the family at a very
Mm.
young age and knew
Mm.
kung ano yung gasto. Di gagamitin ko na yung aking, alam mo, pag may namatay sa pamilya mo, sasabihin mo, 48 months ang bibigay namin sa'yo. No? Kung hindi ka ba
Mm.
naman
Correct.
malula, may experience ka na namatayan ka. So use your competitive edge, no? Kaya
Mm.
probing is so important during the interview. What will
Mm.
make this guy tick? Okay? Ano yung
Mm.
caviar na pwede mong ibigay dito, no?
When you read through the Philippine HR group, 'di ba? Kasi there's so many different newbie HRs, intermediate HRs who are working in different industries all over the Philippines and overseas. Parang how do you feel when you read questions that are easily answered by Google? Like I've had
Ah,
an HR who asked me how to compute pro rata. Sabi ko parang yung sahod niya medyo mataas na. Sabi ko, it's pro rata. You know how to compute pro rata. Sabi niya, I'm sorry, but I don't do math. Because I'm in recruitment.
Aray ko.
Sabi ko naman, I know, but this is taught in high school. So,
yeah.
dapat, diba, like if I can tell you pro rata, and I gave the link pa, parang, sorry, can you compute for me? Ako naman, my gosh, 'di ba? Parang it makes me a bit sad, pero how could you do it? Kasi nga 'di ba, parang it seems na parang compared to before, the HRs nowadays seem to want everything spoon-fed to them. And I'm sure that you've answered queries like that na ikaw pa yung magko-compute. 'Di ba? Nandun na lahat pero ikaw pa rin magko-compute. How could we as an industry siguro fight that? Kasi ayoko rin naman tingnan sa mga HRs mga walang kwenta, 'di ba? But
Right.
that seems to be the impression sometimes when you look at the Philippine HR group. Real talk lang po.
How
Yeah.
can we address
How
spoon
can
feeding
we
daw?
address? Opo.
Spoon feeding.
Well, all right. Kaya nga doon sa aking, final slide, sabi ko, basa ka ng basa, kailangan you really take the initiative to really improve yourself, no? Kasi let's face it, nakakalungkot, the other year 86 ang average IQ ng Pilipino. Bumaba pa last year naging 80. The world average is 100. Isipin mo, no? Talagang tayo na yung dinefine as, yung kabobohan natin, di ba? I mean, it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad, no?
Sir, magaling
Uh,
tayo
eh,
sa diskarte at saka sa pagtatakas ng school tsaka ng trabaho. Sa
well,
mga magaling tayo po doon.
yeah. Maybe technology is also at fault because they have made us so dependent, Kasi, during my time, pag nag-research kami, hindi mo naman pwedeng dalhin yung encyclopedia, di ba? So,
Yes.
Correct.
nire-retain namin
Yes.
sa memory bank namin, sa,
Yung sa
sa utak
library, 'di
namin.
ba? Sa library,
Oo.
paano tayo maghanap? Hindi yung magta-type ka lang. Ano yung
May
mga index
card
Oo.
cards,
catalog
right?
siya. Card catalog, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
how
Card
that works
catalog.
nga eh.
And then
Tapos
you have
pag
to do with
may
decimal system pa.
pag gagawa ka ng report, kailangan proper reference, right?
Mm.
May proper
Correct.
format pa yun eh. Ngayon, link, copy-paste link eh, di ba? You don't even have to verify. Tapos meron pa nagpe-plagiarize.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sir June,
Kaya
how do
ano,
Sir Jun,
you address?
yeah. Yes, Coach Darwin,
Go,
you're
Darwin.
saying.
Hi, Sir Jun, in related to the new technologies that is happening right now, that is being presented to leaders and Asia professionals, do, do you think that new technologies either replacing HR or making HR lazy? Kasi I'm looking at it in a perspective where madami ng national bookstores na nagsasara ngayon.
That's
Nung
true.
time kasi namin ni Rona sa kantina, ang National Bookstore, favorite hangout namin yan, ang Starbucks namin.
Correct. Correct. Tuwang-tuwa pa ako sa Glorieta nun kasi merong reading area.
Yeah, yun ang
Oh, okay.
Starbucks namin, yun ang meeting place namin. Pero ngayon, it seems that the new generation lost the appetite of
Mm.
exploring, reading, lost the
Mm.
appetite of learning. And it's
Yeah.
maybe because it's at the tip of your fingertips you can get information, but
Mm.
uh, what's lacking is the maturity of the person,
Initiative.
the
Mm.
initiative, the maturity, the experience that one can actually have.
Yeah.
How do we balance technology, Sir June, as we grow in HR, as we move forward in the new millennium? That technology will always be part of companies, and companies will always invest billions of pesos in technologies. Kasi I'll give you an example. In my current company, we're investing billions of dollars because we would like to automate. And if we
Mm.
automate, there are certain jobs within HR that will be
Of
redundant
course.
already.
Of course. Right.
So what
Well,
Mm.
what can we do, sir, to balance it?
uh, I don't believe we should even balance it. I'm a technology freak, and my stand there is that use technology to its fullest.
Mm.
It's there. We should, we have our cell phones, and I bet you most users of cell phones only utilize 10-15% of it. You should see my
Mm.
cell phone, okay? Kung gaano ka-loaded ng 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 useful
Applications.
useful things, no, in cell phone ko, all right?
Mm.
I think the problem is, yun nga, yung mindset, again, this is about perspective of being dependent too much on technology. You have Google, so once you try to research, how to compute 13th month pay, for instance, and you Google it, then you know it and you bring it to your boss and you say, this is how to compute. But the problem is, after that, you forget it. So hindi katulad ng learning dati, kasi ini-equate ngayon yung how do you call it, knowledge sa searching for knowledge. Those are two different things, no? You have Google to search for knowledge, but if you don't retain it, no, why can I still remember, the Pythagorean theorem that a squared plus b squared equals c
That's
squared?
useful.
How can I remember that? Okay, let me compute cube roots. I don't know if somebody can do that up to now. I can do that. And I'm not a mathematician. Nakita mo naman, take 3 ako sa algebra nung college. Oh. But I remember it. So the problem now is that, magse-search sila and they find the answer, they think that they've learned. Hindi po. The learning comes with retaining that knowledge. Okay? Because sa akin,
Mm.
once I search for it, nare-retain ko talaga yan.
Mm. Mm.
Yung mga iba hindi, because their thinking process is, okay, if I forget it, there's Google again. It will only take me 5 seconds to search again.
Mm.
Hindi talaga
Mm.
nare-retain. Okay.
Mm. Sir, when it comes to recruitment, sir, what are the things that you are looking for in an HR associate working for you?
Oh, all right.
'Di ba? Kasi
Uh,
if you're building your a lot of people are saying, how do you find a good HR when you recruit? Kasi lahat naman ng tao pag sa interview mabola.
Yeah, pero I look for substance. I look for logic. All right. Kasi remember, when you're HR, all employees are your customers. You will be dealing with these people. These customers, the employees have queries, and you'll have to be able to address those queries in a very clear and logical fashion. No? So kung hindi sila marunong I call it articulate their thoughts effectively, mahihirapan talaga. Alright? Sometimes, disimulado, sometimes yung ginagawa ko, uh, di ba, rule of thumb natin, put the applicant at ease, etc. So small talk
Mm,
muna,
mm,
no?
mm,
And
mm.
then I have this Wolverine statue in my office in the bank. Then iniintay ko siyang mag-comment. When he comments again, oh, are you also a collector, etc., etc. Napanood mo ba yung Avengers Endgame? Sige nga,
Mm,
ikwento
mm.
mo sa akin. Pag hindi niya kayang ikwento
Mm.
sa akin, napanood niya, no? Hindi siya pwede mag-explain ng policy ko. Kasi CD na
Gets.
lang ngayon, yung pumakwento sa akin ng matino, di ba? Kwento siya ng kwento. Teka muna. Ba't hindi mo sinabi na pinatay ni Thor si Thanos? Ay, oo nga pala po. Eh di mali na yung kanyang logical sequence.
Mm.
Paano siya mag-explain sa mga employees?
Yeah, you're
CD pa lang.
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there are ways to to draw it out, ano?
Parang it
Walang
seems that critical thinking is most important in the field,
oh, yeah.
which is
Yes.
not easy to teach nowadays kasi everything is already spoon-fed to the people. Diba?
Yeah.
And as a result, syempre, if you don't have the initiative, it's easier to be lazy. Kasi everyone's doing it anyway. It's not dati
That's
kasi
right.
pag tamad ka, pinapagalitan ka pa ng magulang mo, ng mga friends mo, ng girlfriend mo. Ngayon, pag tamad ka, expected na kasi lahat mas convenient because of technology.
Yeah, that's why we have, I would say, serious problems, no? We are also the kulelat in reading comprehension in Southeast Asia. The government must really do something to address this, because really the
Mm,
state of education isn't like what it was before. All right.
that's
Agree.
true. That's very much true. We're almost
Mentor
at 6
Rona.
o'clock.
Si
Rona,
Mentor
go.
Rona baka may question.
Actually, wala. Amaze na ako sa presentation ni Sir June, as always. Wala naman akong question. But
Salamat, Rona.
I do
We're
agree dun sa
almost
mga
at
nabanggit
6,
natin
no?
kanina.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
go
we're
ahead.
almost at 6. So, last words from Rona, myself, from Sir June first,
Sir
then si Ma'am
June,
Rona, then ako, then and si Coach
I'll
Darwin.
just close it.
Yeah. Well, again, we talked a lot about perspective, no, but I also wanted to talk about learning, since during the question and answer we talked about learning, no. Sana po everybody, takes advantage of, every opportunity to learn, all right? Marami po diyan, ano. Sometimes medyo I am saddened because every now and then pag tinutoyo ako, lalo pag madaling araw, no, na medyo inaantok ako, I make random offers, no. The last one I said na sometimes may problema ka sa pag-apply, no, padala mo sa akin yung resume mo, ibabalik ko sa iyo yan na may mga correction o may whatever format, etc. O nahihirapan ka mag-interview, the last one I said, no, sige, schedule a session with me, di ba? Mag-mock interview tayo. I never get responses. These are opportunities, so many have passed on. And I'm giving this for free. I'm not charging me anything for that, no? Magbigay kayo ng donut sa akin, then thank you very much. But, no monetary, but still, no? I've tried several times, no? So, and there are so many learning opportunities, no? And that's why, we're giving even judgment call at a very, very low price, no? Because we really want the HR practitioners, especially of PHRG, no, uh, and medyo marami talagang kailangan na HR practitioners who be able to, lalo yan labor. No? So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's it.
Rona?
Ako, masasabi ko lang, excuse me, sa mga attendees natin ngayon, sa mga nanonood ngayong linggo na to. We started our session with passion versus paycheck. And if you want to get the high paycheck, start building your skills, your competencies now. Okay? Maraming mag-a-apply kasi sabi ni Sir Jun, di ba? You also have to be strategic with which company you apply for. Kasi kung kunwari mag-apply ka sa small, medium-sized companies at mag-expect ka ng malaking salary, parang doesn't make sense. But you have to also keep in mind that these big companies will not hire you just because they have an opening. They will hire the best of the best. If you're the second best, then you won't get hired. But as a second best, the smaller companies can hire you. And the smaller companies can help you build your competency so that next time you become one of the best. So, ano natin yun, ngayon pa lang, habang bata pa lang, siguro if meron akong isang bagay na gustong sabihin doon sa aking younger self when I started working, start building your competency as early as possible. So once you have that, nagiging nagiging highly saleable kumbaga. Yung mga headhunters, they would love to offer you yung kanilang mga clients. Kasi alam nila na meron kang specific competency. Sabi nga sa Taken, di ba? I have a specific set of skills. Skills na talagang magagamit ninyo in order to secure a position and secure a good compensation and benefits. At anuhin nyo rin yan bilang mga HR. When we say build your competencies right now, start with learning how to read and having a passion for learning. Tama yung sinabi ni Sir Jun kanina. Magbasa. Hindi lang kay Google, kumuha kayo ng mga kung mahilig kayo sa libro, get a hard copy of the labor code, get a hard copy of, mga books about human resource management. And just because you've been in HR for quite some time doesn't mean na dapat tumigil ka na sa pagbabasa. Continuously read, update yourself, sharpen the saw para alam mo kung ano pa yung mga skills at competencies na kailangan mo ma-adapt. Kasi hindi naman yan, wala naman tayong ending na, pag na-reach mo na to, ikaw na ang pinakamagaling na HR, wala na makakatalo sa'yo. Walang ganon. Even people who have been in HR for quite some time. One good example is David Ulrich himself. When we had the HR tech, he sat down in each of the tables. And in one of the table, kung saan ako nakaupo din, somebody asked him a question and he doesn't know anything about it. You know what he did? He asked that person, can you tell me again what was that term? What was that all about? And he took down notes. And he told the person, let me check first. Let me research about this because I am not yet familiar with this particular term. Imagine the person is considered to be the father of modern HR, taking down notes, asking questions, and really trying to understand what that is all about. Imagine that. Yung father na ng modern HR doing that. Tapos tayo na hindi pa naman father or mother na kahit na anong modern na kahit na ano. 'Di ba? What's now our reasoning for stopping our eagerness to learn? So continuous dapat yung passion ninyo, kung may passion kayo, one of that should be the passion for learning regardless of the topic. Maging passionate kayo about learning different things, and don't box yourself ng isa lang na dito lang ako, ito lang ang gusto kong malaman. No, continuously push your own boundaries, kasi pag pinupush mo yung boundaries mo, dun mo makikita na ito pala kaya ko, ito yung hindi ko kaya. If ito yung kaya ko, paano ko pa ito ma-enhance? If ito yung hindi ko kaya, how do I get over this? What are the things that I need to know? What can I do para ma-overcome ko tong bagay na to? So, continuously do that para at some point, pag meron ng mga episodes ng HR Cafe, pwede ka na ngayon magsabi na, pwede ako speaker dyan. And people will reach out to you and people will value what you have to say. Ayan. Mentor Tina, what about you po? Any last words po?
Yes, a few takeaways. The first one is HR is very profitable. Tama yung sinabi ni Sir Jun kanina eh.
Yeah.
Hindi ibig sabihin hindi mo pa natikman ang pinakamasarap at pinakamahal na steak, that such steak does not exist. It does. I'm telling you, already, I'm reinforcing. HR is a very highly paid job for the best in the field. You don't even have to be the best of the best. You just have to be above a certain level that companies would want to hire you because they feel that you can solve a problem that they have inside the organization. Even yung mid-level ng HR,
Yeah.
mataas yung sweldo, if not just the base salary, but sa HMO, sa cars, sa educational plan, home plan. I've had a manager before, their the wife does not work, the kids, four kids, goes to international school. That's one of the benefits, right? So it's a very highly profitable, and the sky is the limit. And we don't forget, Filipinos are also very international. If you can't make it here and you're good, they will ship you there and they will pay you high. So let's dream big. The problem is we don't want to work to deserve such position. Google lang, kulang na eh. Pag-compute
Yeah.
lang, pagkuha lang ng calculator, ayaw na natin kasi sumasabog ang minds natin pag na-expose sa math. You have to be able to be qualified. And sadly, many HRs are not qualified. It doesn't mean na nag-graduate ka sa HR in a top university here in the Philippines, you are qualified. If you are qualified, that means if you are hired for the position, the boss will not worry about the entire department while you're there. End to end. Okay, sa simula ng start mo hanggang sa pag-end mo, very professional, and you will be the go-to person for everything from recruitment, from talent and development, from payroll. Alam mo dapat yan. At kung hindi mo pa alam ngayon kasi bata ka pa, alamin mo para mapunta sa yung you work towards that position that you're end-to-end. Kasi most HRs that I know that are highly paid know how to do HR end-to-end. Kasama na ang payroll and math. And if you can't do that, that's probably one of the reasons why you are only paid. Kasi end-to-end is ganito eh. But if you can only do this one, ito lang talaga yung dapat mong makuhang sahod. Kasi ito lang talagang kaya mong gawin. And even pinakamagaling ka dito, hanggang dito ka lang kasi. You cannot be a CHRO. Which is what our goal is. Which is what HR Cafe is always telling you. Aim for CHRO. Yung head of HR, yung ginagawa ni Sir Jun, yung kinakwento ko last time when I was describing his career. Aim for that. So we have to change the way our attitude towards work. Kasi I've noticed that a lot of people complain about their jobs and say, bakit ang baba ng sahod ko? Change the way we perceive it and say, what can I do para tumaas ang sahod ko? What can I do so I can maximize my employment inside this company so I can be paid the most out of my colleagues and I will be equipped for a better job somewhere with someone else in the future who could pay me more. Diba? Because that's something you strategize and plan on. Sa atin kasi, pag hindi na tayo masaya sa boss natin, saka lang tayong yung mag-upskill. 'Di ba, pag may nakita tayong potential new job, ay kailangan pala magaling mag-Excel, tsaka ka lang mag-Excel. We should do that from day one. Every single day when we are working, we should be constantly upskilling ourselves so we can strategize and plan our careers better. Sir June is also very clear. It's not what you know. Kasi from the time that he started, I'm sure maraming mga new technologies, new advisories, new laws that have been passed. Maternity benefit law before was 60 days to 75 days depending on, and maximum for births lang. Now it's 105.
Yeah.
Dati walang 'di ba expanded paternity leave, walang expanded
Correct.
solo parent leave, walang WISP. Yung mga pa-etching ngayon, it's not what you know. It's how you learn. And marami sa atin allergic to learning. Gusto natin may USB na ipapasok sa sarili natin tapos upload lahat and alam na natin ng lahat. There is no shortcut to learning talaga. And for those who I've seen to be very successful, I've noticed all of them have the same attitude to learning, which is every day is a learning opportunity. Wherever they are, wherever they go, they're learning all the time. Lastly, we are so happy to have Sir Jun here because I think we need to aim to be more like him. Aim to be like him as an employee, yung tipong go-to person for any boss, for any problem na related sa HR. Kaya nyo ba yon? Aim as very pro-management siya but still very fair, na may puso pa rin siya sa mga tao niya. Kung kailangan umiyak, iiyak po yan. And also aim as him as a mentor. Because sa totoo lang, he doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to give his time to all of us. But I find him to be one of, or if not the most gracious mentor of the Philippine HR group. And he does
Thank you.
this for free. And I really hope that, parang, I hope that the returns to you comes in bounds because we really appreciate your presence in the group. And it's one of the reasons why it's so enjoyable. And I hope that elderly mentors will follow also in your footsteps in being always gracious and humble despite having the experiences that you have. Kasi dapat at your rate, dapat po sobrang yabang nyo po. Pero napaka-humble nyo po. Sobrang humble. Which is a very much surprise, di ba? And your humility is not fake humility. It's
Thank you. Thank you,
real,
Tina.
sincere effort to uplift the Philippine HR group. I know that a lot of people still don't appreciate. Siguro pikit pa yung mata nila. But I'm sure within 5 to 10 years time, people will learn from what you leave in the group. So thank you so much. Coach Darwin?
Thank you.
Everyone, what Sir Jun shared to us is a treasure trove of his experience from the time that he started his career up to the time that he's now doing consultancy. From the time that he retired and doing consultancy, talagang makikita natin na napakaraming experiences in all perspectives, talagang very useful that magagamit natin in as we progress in our own careers. I think it's very important that we had Sir June as our very first guest to start episode 1 of season 3 because it um it we were able to set the tone that learning is very important and sharing is also very important kasi ayun yung ginagawa ni Sir John eh. After all of the experiences that he has, he shares it to everyone. Walang pag-iimbot ang kanyang pag-share, hindi siya madapot. And I think that that's one thing that all of us should learn and be put into practice. Once you have knowledge, once you have learning experience, you grow more by sharing it. So please, we encourage everyone to grow your careers, to learn more, to upskill more, and please have time to also share whatever experience, knowledge, and that you might have so that we as a whole group in HR here in the Philippines will continue to grow and move forward. Sir June, maraming salamat po. We honor
My
you,
pleasure
sir.
always.
We
Thank you.
honor you,
Thank you
sir,
too.
for all the things that you have done for our community, for our group, and rest assured, sir, that we will continue to listen to you and aspire to be like you.
Thank
Maraming
you. Thank you
salamat. I
very
hope
much.
hindi
I'm
kayo
humbled.
mag-asawa, sir, na mag-guest sa aming sa aming
Sobrang swerte po
program.
kasi we
At
wanted you
mag-comment sa Philippine
talaga.
HR group.
Oo.
I'm always here. I'm always available.
Yes, sir. So
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you. Lots of thanks from
Thank
the
you.
group. Helen Briones says, thank you, Sir June, for sharing good insights. Thank you, coaches and Sir June. Thank you for the learning. Sabi po ng isa, years ago, I attended the labor session in Buendia, which was conducted by Coach Darwin. I learned a lot, and I think the discipline trio will enhance my learning and skills. Looking forward, Sir June, to the announcement of the training schedules. Magkano po siya, sir, for the 2 days? Is it online, sir?
Yeah, it's online. 2 half days, one to five. I believe nagtaas ng presyo ng konti ang Alpine. Dati kasi 1,000, ngayon Nagmahal ang sibuyas eh. So, 1,250.
Pero 2 days naman po yun, diba?
2 half days. 2 half days.
2 half days. From 1
Yeah,
o'clock
2 half
to
days. 5 o'clock. Yeah.
5 o'clock. So thank you for all the learning. Lots and lots of thanks po from the entire
Thank you.
group. So
Thank
thank
you
you,
so
Sir
much.
June.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, everyone.
And everyone, we will see you again next week for another session of the HR Cafe, Usapan Trabaho, Buhay Iba Pa. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.